Freeway. Man, it's easy to sing country music if you have a bad voice. You don't really have to have that good a voice. If you do the old style country music like Mac Davis. Hi everybody, welcome to Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. I'm Ari Shaffir. I'm the host of Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. It's quite a coincidence, otherwise I'd be out of place. On today's episode, Bert Kreischer. Everybody loves Bert Kreischer. He's like Jell-O. Today, my friend Bert and we talked about ego and keeping your ego in check. It's something that as the career of whomever moves forward, it's harder and harder to keep in check. It's something that Bert has actually thought about a lot. He told me about it, so I was like, hey, let's do a podcast about it. And it's something that I worry about, keep it in check. My career's hasn't gone anywhere yet, but I still worry as I get even slightly more successful to sort of keep aware of who I want to be and how I want to view other people. You can get lost real easily. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. It is an interesting episode. Let me tell you some stand-up gigs. September 12th through the 15th, I'm in Austin, Texas at Cap City Comedy Club. September 20th through the 25th, I'm in Toronto at Just for Laughs, at the Just for Laughs 42. September 26th through the 29th, I'm in Indianapolis at Cap City Comedy. Then Corpus Christi canceled due to poor planning from the club owner. October 12th and 13th, who knows? Nothing right now. 19th, 20th, and 21st. I'm in the D.C. Improv, Washington, D.C., the D.C. Improv. October 25th, 26th, 27th, I'm in Portland at Helium. And then November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I am at Calgary and Yuck Yucks. And then the big show, Ari Shaffir, Joey Diaz, November 8th in Chicago at the House of Blues. Tickets go on sale September 14th. I believe Ticketmaster, I know, but I still think it's Ticketmaster. September 14th, tickets go on sale. Get your tickets early. The first show is definitely going to sell out. We might add a second show. We might not. If we add a second show, that's going to sell out too. So hurry up. And then, this just announced, November 9th and 10th, I'm going to be in New York City, in Manhattan, at The Stand. It's going to be part of a New York Comedy Festival. I'm only spending more time on it because it's just announced. The New York Comedy Festival. Oh no, my back came off. I'm going to be doing some stand-up shows, November 9th and 10th, I think at 10:15 both nights. And then on Saturday at like 6 o'clock or 6:30 or something, I am doing the first live Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. If you guys have suggestions, please write in. I might just interview like a few different people, sort of less in depth, because it's in front of an audience. I might take questions from the audience for the guests or for myself. I'm not really sure, but it should be fun. We did sort of a semi-live one with Manola Santanos about living with your parents. Not really live, but in front of like 4 or 5 other comedians. So that was fun. So this should be cool. So November 9th and 10th at the Stand Comedy Club. And then November 28th through the end of that week, I'm at the House of Comedy in Minneapolis. Come out to that. And then I'm at the Comics Trip in January. And that's it. Still working on Australia for the end of December. It may work. It may not work. Anyway, let's get back to the episode. I'll just skirt over my sponsors, Amazon.com and Gamefly.com. If you go to my website, arithegreat.com or Ari Shaffir, you can find the links to go to those and support this podcast. Also, big news, my CD is now out. Revenge for the Holocaust. It's not out, excuse me. It's available for pre-order. If you want, if you're unsure or if you don't have any money, I'm sure I have a lot of poor college-age students that may or may not be in college, may have dropped out already. I am giving away a few free tracks on my website of my album. If you go to arishafir.com, go to the top right, you'll see the cover for my CD. If you click on it, I'll email you four free tracks. One's just like an intro track, but the other 3 are solid tracks. So, and then if you like it, you can buy it. But it's available for pre-order right now, and it comes out officially on iTunes September 25th, when Yom Kippur starts. Revenge for the Holocaust. So everybody pick it up. And now let's get ready for Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 76. Is that right? Could be 77, but I think it's 76. Ego with Bert Kreischer. Take us out, Michael Jackson. Take us the fuck out like you did with Earth when you died.
I think you have seen nothing. There's a way to argue because I'm bad. I'm bad. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know. And the whole world has to listen right now to tell you once again who's bad.
Let's see, what time is it? 7:30? Perfect.
Yeah. All right, we got an hour and a half at least, right?
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer, hi.
It's so weird to have that fucking absolute genuine conversation and then have to stop and be like...
intro it?
Yeah, and then be like, we can't talk about that on air.
Yeah. I do that all the time. I have these pauses sometimes where I'm like, who was the girl? And then they're like, I can't tell you. I'm like, who's the girl? I'm like, I can't say. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pause it for a second.
Yeah.
And then I'll come right back. But this will be how loud it sounds. I'm like, tell me who the girl was. Because it pauses and comes right back.
Yeah.
That it's like... Who was the girl? Who was the girl? And then you just hear, oh my God, I can't believe this.
It's like Tom Rhodes said there was a comic who took him from the Comedy Store on Rogan's podcast. Did you hear that? And tried to fuck him.
I've heard that story before.
And I know, I'm just sitting there going, all right, I got to text Joe because I know who it is.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's the same guy.
Yeah. He told that story at the store.
I got invited to his house too.
Really?
And I chose not to go.
You can say that shit. Who cares?
Yeah, I know. He was a nice guy. He was a good guy to me. I'm not going to say his name. Fuck it. I don't want to be involved.
He likes fucking younger-looking men.
Yeah.
That's all right.
If you like fucking younger-looking men, you're in the right business.
You're new to Hollywood. It's a perfect place.
I literally have thought my entire career
Yeah.
that men wanted to fuck me.
Because of that?
Nope. I told this story a long time ago, but when I first met Will Smith,
Yeah.
I was like fucking, he wanted to give me a deal. And,
Really?
yeah, I got a deal from him, but it was all pending on whether or not he liked me, and I had to meet him, and it was like, everyone's so weird about that in Hollywood. Like,
but what?
Like I don't know. Do you ever introduce someone to Joe, like you're like a younger comic, and you're like, listen, don't fucking suck his dick, don't talk about Fear Factory, just hang out and be a regular fucking person.
I usually don't tell people and then get embarrassed when I don't.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh God, Kai, come on, I didn't think you were gonna.
Yeah, it's like you. But Will was like that times 100. Like they taught me how to shake hands with black people. Like
taught you how to shake hands with black people.
They were like, listen. When you meet Will, this is because it's a bunch of older Jewish dudes.
Yeah.
So like, listen, when you meet Will, it's gonna be like take your hand and he's gonna smack it and then he's gonna grab your fingers and it was just that little snap finger.
Yeah.
It was that. It was
but they're so foreign to it that they're like bringing it down.
And it's so funny because then every time we would shake hands, they would do that and I would be like, oh my God, this is so fucking awkward. And they're like, listen, he likes to do this hug, but it's not like a hug. It's like he puts his arm here, okay? And then I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And if you asked him,
he'd be like, oh, I don't know what I do.
Exactly. He's just being natural. He wants you to be natural.
Me and Renazizi did a commercial with Tiger Woods once, and they were like, well, his dad had just died, so like, absolutely do not mention his father.
Wait, I love that you go, well, his dad had just died.
But this is like the fair part of the request.
Yeah.
Like, that's
what were the other parts of the request?
Don't curse in front of him.
Shut.
Do
this
not
guy's
say anything
choking
dirty.
out chicks.
Yeah.
He's choking
None
out
of us
chicks.
knew that then.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was like, are you sure he grew up on like a Muni golf course?
Yeah.
Like, what do those people tell dirty jokes all the time?
Caddyshack.
He comes right in, and because we had to play Tiger Woods golf with him, like on EA, on whatever, on Xbox, and then talk shit, so we get audio. But he comes right in and goes, "You bitches ready to do this shit?" And we're like, "Who is telling us not to be?" You guys have no idea.
They have never have any idea. It's like but I've got my ass burned a million times doing colleges because they're like, don't curse, don't talk this, don't talk that, and I'm like, yeah, and I get up, I'm like, you guys want some pussy jokes? And they're like, bring it, and then I do them, and they're like, you're not getting paid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was Will. So my dad, Will said to me, he goes, he wanted to go see a movie after that. We meet. It's in a fucking dance studio, 2 folding chairs in the center, and they're like, sit down, Mr. Smith will be in a second. And
really?
He comes in, man, and he's the coolest fucking guy in the world. Like, to his credit, I will say this, everything I like, he comes in like a fucking thunderstorm of personality, and like just
charisma, right?
Like charisma, like quick charisma.
People like that, it's like electric, right?
It's a superpower.
Yeah.
And you knew he had it his whole life, that he could get the extra piece of milk, an extra piece of bread in the fucking lunch line. There's just something about the way he carries himself, and he did it, and he got me, man. I was sitting there, and I'm talking, and he's a good listener, which I'm not a good listener. He's listening, and he's responding with thoughtful responses. We talked about Tupac, about Biggie, about Jada. We talked about his first wife, growing up in Philly, Overbrook, his kids, raising kids, what it's like doing. Like, we had the best conversation in the world, and then he just looks at me. The energy's popping, and he's like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I go, "Nothing." And he goes, "Let's go to the movies." And I was like, "Let's go."
The movies. That's perfect.
And I was like, oh. So I leave, and I call. He goes, "Meet me at Planet Hollywood at 7. We'll go to the movies." And I was like, "Okay." So I call my dad, and I was like, "Dad," he goes, "How did it go?" I go, "It went good." And he goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, what do you mean?" I go, "We're going to the movies." And my dad goes, "Oh, buddy." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I bet he wants to queer you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "That's what these guys do." He goes, "If they're real charismatic, they're usually gay, and they find these young boys and they turn you out. It's called the casting couch. He wants to fuck you." And I was like, "Holy shit!" And
How old's your dad?
My dad's like, he's probably 65. Leanne, how old's my dad? He's 64. And I said, "Dad, come on." I go, "That's impossible. Will Smith." I know this because I've just spent time with him, and I've got enough good of gay. I go, "Dad, there's no way Will Smith is gay." And right away he goes, "What's more likely? The fact that you're so talented that in 6 months of doing stand-up, you're getting a development deal from the biggest movie star in the entire world, or that he is gay and he wants to fuck you in the ass." I'm like, "I'm getting fucked. I'm getting fucked." And then I'm telling you the whole story now, but this all leads up into the fact that I always thought. So I go, "What do I do?" My dad goes, "Eat shit and cash checks, buddy. You show up." He goes, "You go up and fucking find out if I'm right. I could be wrong. You never know. You don't want to piss away."
And what? And then decide
say
later?
No or whatever. Just be a man. And so I show up to Planet Hollywood. Now it sounds ridiculous. I'm like, we're fucking going to Planet Hollywood, me and Will Smith? Like, there's not even a movie theater here. Like, what the fuck? So I go up to the front lady at the front. I go, "Is Will Smith here?" And she's like, "No." She was like, "Actually, yeah." In the way back, I go back. It's a mannequin of him with Tommy Lee Jones. I go, "No, the real Will Smith." She goes, "No, the real Will Smith is not here." And I was like, "Can I wait?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." So I sit in the like waiting room, and I'm just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I have this stairway that I had not recognized up at that point. This dude, Charlie Mack, 6'5", 350, big brother, just comes up and he's like, looks at me, and goes, "You Bert?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Downstairs." And all I'm thinking is, now I gotta fuck this guy too, right? I gotta fuck this guy. I walk downstairs and there's 9 black dudes sitting in a room the size of this room with a velvet curtain around it and a folding table in the center, right? No one's talking. Everyone's just standing. And I'm like, now I gotta fuck these 9 guys.
On that table.
Fuck on that table. Charlie Mack, that's 10. Will, I'm sure he's bringing Jazzy Jeff. That's 12 dudes I gotta fuck. And I just put my ass up against the curtain, and I don't make eye contact. I don't say a word. And like 5 minutes later, Will comes in, ton of personality, like, "What's up? One love. How's everyone doing?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." And he comes in, he's like, "Hey," and he gives me a hug. He goes, "Guys, this is Bert." And everyone's like, "Oh," and he's like, "This is the guy." And everyone's like, "Oh," and they all start walking towards me, and I'm like, this is where I take a knee and start sucking dicks. Like, how's this going down? Like, how am I getting out of this? All of a sudden, curtain opens behind me. Huge movie theater.
Whoa,
it's a private movie theater downstairs of Planet Hollywood in New York, up by Columbus Circle, and we watched American Pie. And it was my imagination spinning wildly, because I genuinely started thinking, like, I don't know what it is. I thought Elliot Gould wanted to fuck me.
I worry that people will think I'm gay, like, all the time.
Why?
I don't know, just same sort of thing. If I wear jeans that are too tight, or if I cross my legs, anything.
Well, you have a skinny mannerism. Like, I look.
Plus, I hang out with those MMA people a lot, like the fighters, and when it's there, it's exacerbated. I'm like, "Oh, what is? Are you guys looking down at me like meat?"
What? Wait, what did you? I lived with 2 gay girls in New York during this Will Smith time. I lived with 2 gay chicks, and I watched one of them come out of the closet, and it was like the most terrifying experience.
It's so bad for them.
It's so hard, because it's like they want to do it, they want to come out, but then
it's everything's around. In their history, everything's told them, like, don't do this.
Have a baby.
These people get
married, be happy that way.
Don't get tied up behind a car and beaten to death.
Yeah, don't get tied up behind a car and beaten to death. Like, people will hate you. You can't. God doesn't want you. You're not going to heaven. Like, all these fucking things. And I watched her do it, and then you start going like, fuck. Like, what if I'm gay?
Yeah.
Because I go, I'm like, I'll.
That's what it is too. I start thinking like, well, what if I'm just burying it?
Exactly, because I was like, here she is. I'm closing this door so that we don't hear motorcycles and dogs.
It doesn't pick up much shit. Let's just right to the mic. Me and Diaz were doing it, and there was like a leaf blower.
They don't open it back up.
Yeah,
Keep it
like
cool
right where that chair is was like a leaf blower. It's so loud we had to yell at each other, but you could hear it fine on this.
Well, you start thinking like, and I know people are so terrified. People are so. Homophobic's not the right word. I used to have a joke about it. I'm not homophobic. I'm a homochondriac. Like, I'm cool if you're gay. I'm just afraid one night you'll get me drunk and trick me into it, and I'll like it a lot.
Right.
Like, that's my fear, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that people are so such homochondriacs that the idea of even talking about gay shit makes them nervous. That what if I like that?
Yeah.
Like I was saying.
Well, anytime guys like, if there's like a strap-on situation where a girl fucks a guy in the ass, like it's gay. I'm like, how is it gay when a girl uses stuff to fuck you?
Norton was saying that he tried to get his girl to fuck him in the ass on Rogan's podcast, and I was like, the
so
fucking
honest.
balls, the balls to allow to try that.
Yeah.
You know, kudos to Jim for even saying, I want that, I'm going to try that. I mean, fuck it. I guess you're 45 years old, man. Like, what do you fucking care?
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe I have some issues with it. It's just weird. Like, if I fucking did shit like that with my wife, I'm married to her, I'm with her forever. It's like, I can't imagine getting kinky and my kids seeing that shit. Like,
you're doing it in front of your kids.
No, but like them walking in. Having sex with kids is like, or around
You don't want the door?
You do, but sometimes you get caught up in it and the door's open and you're like.
Do you ever want to do it like if she's in the kitchen and stuff and just get turned on and be like, hey, just fucking feel her ass. And then like, we can't do this here.
They don't do that.
Who doesn't do it?
Women
Moms?
will not do that.
Oh.
Like, I'd be like, they're in the bathtub, let's sneak in the closet and just. She was like, what if they walk in? What if they hear us? And you're like, come on, like, that's what men are.
Yeah.
I just want to plan it and fucking be done.
Yeah.
And
you can't be like, I'll go like, it'll be like a minute long. You can't say that.
I can tell her. I tell her all the time. I go, you won't even know I'm there. I'll be in and out so fucking quick. Her and Christina Pajinski have had massive talks about the fact that when comics come off the road, the first thing they need to do is plant the seed.
Well, then you, as a wife, you should let them do that.
Yeah, I fucking 100% agree. But she's not on board.
Really?
She just is like, well, I mean, I guess, like, you know, look, I visualize if someone wanted to use my dick, they could. Like, if someone was like, can I borrow your dick for like just.
You're watching the game, you're like, fine, I'll just lean back. Just go for it.
I can get turned on at a fucking funeral. Like, and she just, it takes a lot. Like, she wants to connect. She wants to watch a movie. She wants to talk. She wants to cuddle. And she wants to be able to cuddle and know that it's not going to lead to sex. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
really? And you're like, no, it's going to. I won't guarantee that. I guarantee it will because that's what I want to do.
The only reason I'm fucking touching you.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't want to lead to sex, I'll be in the other room doing my shit.
Me and my ex did a Dice's son's bar mitzvah at the Friars Club.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we went upstairs. We were looking around. We're like, oh, it's pretty dark in here. She's like, yeah, let's go.
That's when you're dating someone. When you're married, they do not do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
There's fucking it's it's the worst part about being married is there's so much hacky shit you've heard that is actually accurate.
Isn't that just habit forming? Just once you form a habit of not doing it, then it just becomes that?
Yeah.
Like working out or not working out?
I think so. I think that I don't know. I mean, like ours is we have a fair amount of sex for a couple that's married for what, like 9 years.
Yeah.
That I'm on the road literally probably 80% of the year.
It should be like once a month for you, right?
I'm a lot. You'd be shocked. I'm definitely the day I land, or the day after I land, and then maybe like right before I go back on the road.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking baby about it. I am a horrible baby about it.
Really? You should be.
I'm like a teen boy.
You're like, listen, I'm a special needs kid. Okay? And that's my thing. I gotta have it.
I'm a special special needs.
That's what it is. You have one special need.
I got one special need.
A need that's like an udder. You need a drink.
I go, you should be proud because I still am attracted to you. I love you. Like, these are all things people want in their relationship.
How do you? I'm assuming you don't stray. You just don't seem like you would.
I've never cheated on my wife, not even once.
How do you
I will
deal
go to
with
strip
it?
clubs though.
You will at a strip club?
No, I won't cheat. No,
But you'll go to strip club.
I'll go to strip clubs.
That's not cheating.
And I'll get lap dances. Yeah, I don't consider that cheating, but
You ever come in your pants at a lap dance?
no. But that was an awkward question.
That's what the roaster said. People like shitting on him. It's like, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to go to a strip club and come in your pants? He goes, yes, I'm going to come in my pants.
Wait, who said that?
Joe DeRosa.
Wait,
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel horrible. Somebody's going to grind on top of my jeans, and I'm going to come in my pants. That's what I want.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fucking, I hung out with Joe DeRosa so long ago.
He's
that
great. I saw him in New York the other day.
I feel like I wish I could hang out with him again.
He's pretty cool, man.
There's a lot of guys that I party with in New York that I never see anymore.
Did you hang out at the Cellar when you were there?
Yeah, but just like late night and like I wasn't like
You
I wasn't
get in there?
ingratiated into like the table of Keith Robinson and
Yeah, when I go to that table, when I go there and there's nobody I know, it's super uncomfortable for me.
I went to UCB last night.
Used to be here?
Yeah, never been.
Really?
Never
Did
been.
you go by yourself?
Yep.
That's scary, man, with those alternative people. What was last night? Tuesday? The big show?
It was Doug Loves Movies.
And then Comedy
Comedy
Death Ray?
Bang Bang.
Comedy Bang Bang changed the name.
Yeah.
For copyright reasons.
For real?
Their show's too popular for changing the name for copyright reasons.
Are you serious?
It was Comedy Death Ray, and then they couldn't use that anymore. They didn't want to lose the rights to it, so they changed it to something else.
I didn't. I never even heard of comedy.
Doesn't
I'd
matter.
heard of comedy.
The show is the show.
Yeah. So so I show up. I have a case of beer with me.
Yeah, it's good to get that from the pavilions right next door.
Yeah.
You take it to the green room because I'm gonna have 6 of these. There's 18 for you guys.
Yeah. I was like, I'm talking about ego. Like that is an ego fucking enhancer. Whatever that room
Really?
is, like it messes with it.
It enhances the ego for you?
It doesn't enhance my ego. It enhances my swollen ego, or it enhances my poor part of my ego. It makes me insecure beyond belief. Like, because I've never been to alternative rooms. I've never done alternative rooms. I've only done the road. I do clubs.
How long you been in LA?
Fucking forever. Like 10 years.
Man, never go to the alternative rooms.
Never, because I
Largo
was
back
like-
then, you didn't do it?
Nope. It's like first of all, I'm also in a different world because I was
Those
in
people
New
don't make
York
their living
guy.
on the road ever.
What's that?
Those people almost never make their living on the road.
Right. I got in trouble a long time. Not in trouble, but I got into a fight with Jen Kirkman on via
What was a special thing?
No, I don't know.
Twitter?
No, via podcast, Jason Nash's podcast. Because I said something, I was trying to compliment her, but I guess it came out wrong.
What'd you
She
say?
heard it wrong. I said that
Jen Kirkman is and I like her a lot.
I love
She's
Jen.
always willing to start a fight, especially if you say anything that could be misinterpreted as
She is.
anti-female comedy.
she is. I mean, I just know that she's gotten into some Twitter fucking beef with people where I go, why does she care about that fucking guy?
Yeah, Jen, calm down.
But yeah, I like Jen. I've always liked her. When I saw her do stand-up, I liked her. The problem is Paul F. Tompkins did not like me. And so he got me fired off the show.
What show?
For this stand-up show. Aaron called me and was like, I need you. It's these people. I need you on the show. Will you do the show? And I was like, yes.
It's Friday?
Pris, get the fuck out of here. Give me the snake, first of all.
That dog is massive.
So yeah, it was just like I'm telling you now. Maybe I was being
What
a little
show?
salacious. It was a long time ago. It was
Late Friday?
at the Improvs. At the Improv. Paul F. Tompkins was
A regular show, not a
regular
tape show. Oh, okay.
So it was like, but I said something. I said I liked Jen Kirkman's act. I was trying to say I liked her act. I was also trying to say that I couldn't see her working in Iowa, which is an inaccurate statement. 'Cause who the fuck am I to say that her act won't work in Iowa? I don't know. I'm not an audience member in Iowa. I never even lived in Iowa.
What you meant was,
What I meant is
she's a smarter comic. It's not for rednecks.
Exactly. Is that I go into a room in Iowa and I like the room I was talking about was Penguins. It was on a riverboat casino. And it was like paid $700 for the weekend to headline, and you had a bunch of people who all had oxygen tanks that were comp tickets, and they would fuck with you. It was a nightmare, and I was trying to say that, but it came out wrong. And whatever I tried to say, it doesn't matter. How she heard it is what mattered, and it bothered her. And she said something about me, and I just wrote her a letter and apologized, and then she wrote back and apologized, and we were cool.
It's amazing how that will solve problems so many times.
She wrote back and she was like, she wrote, it like took her a little while to write back. She goes, I am so sorry that I haven't written back, but I want you to know that I read your letter and I apologize. It was great. And now I'm friends with her. I talked to her on Twitter, and she's fine. But that, because of that one night.
Yeah. Oh, you got a thing.
I was like, fuck alternative comedy.
Paul Tompkins won't go to the Improv anymore, I don't think. Him or Patton or both. I don't know.
They probably won't, but... And I was like, and I would say it to like club comics. They'd be like, "Oh, you go on the road and you'd meet some guy in fucking Richmond, and he's like, so do you hang out at the UCB?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." And he was like, "Why not? I'd be there every night." And I was like, "Well, I don't
that's
think
his taste.
Yeah, no offense, I don't
That's what
think
we
that
gotta
like
do.
your act there, you know, like no offense, but like I've seen what you do at Richmond, and it's hacky. Like I can't imagine you in fucking UCB. So." And I just destroyed that place in my head. I was like, this place is horrible. It's easy comedy. It's patty cake shit. You go up, you say something that fucking hipsters like.
The problem is with that, and I would hear that all the time, and I'd be like, yeah, there is some of that, but there's a lot of really innovative, interesting comedy
Here's the
there
problem.
too.
Here's the problem. I did that for fucking 10 years.
Yeah, without actually seeing it.
With never going there.
Rhea Bamford does some stuff that you're like, oh my God.
Here's the biggest problem is that the people that work at that club, I actually like all their
UCB?
acts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like all their fucking acts.
You know what it is? It's the people who are reviewing. It's like the audience members, and only the 10% of them that are vocal.
It's the
them
vocal-
making that attitude on the comics.
Like, yeah. Like,
You're like, fuck you.
yeah, and you make it. So, regardless, I fucking shit on that place in my head. Laying in bed, I just tear it apart. So I go there last night.
So you went there last night, yeah.
And Benson invites me to do his podcast, and I get a case of beer, and I walk in. First person.
Did you have to get lit to go in there?
No, but I'd done Joe's podcast before, so I was like
Already?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I fucking walk in. I'm expecting whatever you get at any club. Every club's the same. The people that work there, they don't know you.
They don't know who you are.
Go fuck yourself. It happened to me
$5,
at the
please.
Comedy
You're like,
Store.
no.
Yeah, it happened to me at the Comedy Store in London. It's happened to me at the Comedy Store
But you
in
know
LA.
now, it's not the Comedy Store itself at
Right.
UCB. It's just some employee that
It's
just
just
started.
some fucking employee. So I brace for the tension. First person to meet's a guy named Jimmy, and he says,
Oh,
"Bert."
Jimmy's awesome.
He goes, "Hey, Bert, how you doing, man?" And I said, "Hi." And he goes, "He's excited to have you, man." And I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
And then he's like, "I go, this is my first time at UCB." And he goes, "Well, this is long overdue, man. I hope you come and work at the club." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding
Wow,
me?
that's so
this
far
guy's
the
fucking
opposite."
amazing." He goes, "Let me give you a tour." Walks me around the fucking place, takes me to the green room, puts my
Wow.
beer, tells me where the bathroom is, tells me where to find Doug, how the exit entrance on the side is where the comics come through.
You ain't ever getting out of the Comedy Store.
Never. Fucking never.
Even if somebody
Never.
looks up to you, they're not even going to talk to you.
And I'm like, are you fucking... You're not getting that at the Toledo Funny Bone.
Yeah.
You're not getting that anywhere. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
The two girls that are there, I didn't really meet either of them. Because I went,
Was there a cool up?
I don't know.
Okay.
Very, very pretty girls. And then they were really nice to me. And then everyone was super nice. Go out. Do the show. It's not an easy room. It's not a room where you just talk and everyone laughs hysterically.
Right.
I fucking first two jokes, do the Doug Loves Movies. First two jokes I take kind of fall, and I'm like, fuck.
They're with new people, they're a little bit tentative because they're like, who's this person? We know alternative comedy. We
Yeah.
haven't seen him before. And then
And-
once you've done it like 2 or 3 times, you're like, this is the guy who does our room.
Yeah,
And they all just know you.
but it wasn't the. This
And then what
came-
happened after that?
Then I said one joke that killed,
Uh-huh.
and then I was drinking and I was out of my fucking mind, and it was
having fun.
it was absolute chaos, and it was very funny, and it was a great podcast. And then I got done, and then here's where it comes. You ready? I'm like, okay, I get done. Great show. I have an absolute blast. I'm talking to an audience who are all sober and are there for the show and paid tickets. I'm like, oh my God, this place rocks. I get done.
Oh, yeah.
I get done and done.
I know at this point, where's your ego? Where
Perfect.
you're like, cool, I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. I'm so
You're happy it went well?
I've done this.
Okay.
And so I go backstage and it's filled with alternative comics
For the next show.
And I don't know half of them, and we're running late, and we're running late mostly because of me. And so I'm like, all right, and my shirt's off, and I have a case of beer in my hand, and I have a baseball hat. Like, I'm the definition of just what does not hang in that green room.
Yeah, it's the people they would hate.
And I'm fucking, and like I walk in, and Doug, Doug's like, he kind of takes off. Amy Schumer kind of like bounces quick, like she doesn't really hang out.
Yeah.
The other guy, Ben Schwartz, Ben Schwartz, he's an actor. I don't know if he does comedy. He's in like Parks and Rec. So he goes and he knows everyone, and then Doug says, "Do you know Roy Scovel?" And I'm like, "Oh, I like Roy Scovel." And then I'm like,
hilarious.
just like I did with you, I go, "The only thing to do right now is say how much I like him and explain to him that I enjoy his work." So I tell him that, and he's like, "Thanks."
Yes, it's amazing how just that offsetting that, like, just it makes everyone put it at ease.
Being nice, and then Sarah comes up and says hi. Yeah, Sarah Silverman. She's got a big posse.
She's also always nice.
David
Cross?
Nope.
Keckner?
Kreckner, the guy from Anchorman. He walks in, introduces himself. Really fucking nice. But now here's the one. There's one dude who's being a little cunty. Who's a gay? I'm gonna say gay dude only because of the way he reacted to me. But like, I lost my fanny pack in there because there were so many people. So I said, "Has anyone seen a fanny pack?" And he was like,
"Why do you have a fanny?"
He didn't even look. He didn't even look. He just went, "No," like, "No." And I don't know if it was because I looked at him.
Who is it? What's his name?
No, I never even met the guy. But here's the point: I never met the guy.
Sometimes gay
never
guys
heard
get
of the
mad
guy.
that you mentioned the word fanny pack.
Maybe it could be very fucking
no.
But he then I go. And then I realized, you know what? Every club's like that. Every club's got the one guy who just started getting spots, who is not cool with someone. Yeah, who's not cool with a new guy coming in, who might be on TV, who they may have heard of, who does not do these rooms, and all of a sudden he's getting fucking spots. Fuck that. I just got in these rooms. This is my break. So I was like, you know what? It's a club like any other club. They were nicer than any other club I've been to. It was a great time.
Yeah.
The green room was fun as shit.
Everyone's in there joking. You can be loud.
It was fun, and I was like, and I left. I like did the George Costanza. I'm not gonna fucking waste my time here. I'm not gonna like overstay my welcome. I'm gonna get in, say hi to everyone, get out. I don't want to fucking just chill out in the green room.
You don't want to have the night ruined.
Right. I don't.
Yeah.
Go to eat, have a great meal with my sisters, and I'm like, I woke up and I was like, man, I should write a blog about that. Like, only so that other comics know that whatever we perpetuate in our head based on our ego. Like, that's all it is. It's our ego. The dudes who genuinely hate club comics, that are alternative comics,
it's their ego too.
Or it's their ego too. The guys
like, these guys. I'm like, what? These guys? You mean these guys who have written really good acts that you've actually liked?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's someone else I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, you're just talking about a theme overall, and not an actual person.
Yeah, you're talking about what you don't like, and hey, guess what? I don't like that either. Like those, whatever. We all dislike the exact same shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're a working comic, you know what you like, and you like originality. Everyone does. What the fuck? We all have pandering moments of discontent on stage, and everyone goes there. But it was like fucking, and you know, it's like, God bless Sarah Silverman. She is such a sweet human being that it's like, even in like her coming over and talking to me, just sitting and taking like 3 minutes to just talk to me I was like, she
did that for me at Meltdown. When I went to Meltdown, it was the first time I'd been to an alternative room in a while, in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe done one show. Have you done Holy Fuck? It's downtown at a movie theater. It's really good.
I would do, if I didn't, here's the other thing. I was like, I came home, I was a little buzzed, and I was like, I told Leanne, I was like, it's fucking one of the coolest experiences. Thank God Paul F. Tompkins wasn't there, because if he had seen me, he would have fucking just, he would have.
See, I bet he didn't like you for the same reason. Like, oh, this guy's a drinker. He'd be the type to would have shoved me into a puddle, and you're like, no.
Yes.
I'd be the type, but that wouldn't be me.
I don't know why he didn't like me. I'm not sure. I think it was my act. I was young.
Okay.
I mean, it very well probably was my act. And you know, and they were all doing very different stuff that was not maybe registering as hard as me going up being like, who likes blowjobs or whatever the fuck I was doing at the time. You know, like, I'm not going to say I was a genius, you know, but like, I was like, thank God Paul F. I never even thought about that. Thank God Paul F. Tompkins wasn't there, because he probably totally would have fucking been like,
he would have gotten your head too.
Who the fuck let this guy in, or whatever, you know, like. You know, the sad thing is, I really think Paul F. Tompkins is funny. I like his stuff. I like what he does. I like the way he represents himself, but he just doesn't like me, and I don't like people who don't like me.
Do you have this problem where if someone doesn't like you, then you're like, I have the same thing where like I have to not like them now?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
The second someone doesn't like me, I'm like, well, you're fucking dead to me.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you start shitting on their act and all these things. You're like, whoa, this wasn't in play before. You'd seen their act before and you weren't shitting on it. Now suddenly you are?
Yeah. Fucking, why don't you like me?
Because you're hurt, right?
Yeah. It's a fucking...
You want to get back at something. What is that?
Who did we... I'll take it one step further. Like, I will get... Like, I will watch a comic and fucking laugh hysterically and because I'm next and go, God, that guy's good. He's really talented. And then he gets off. I'm like, great set. And they're like, thanks. And then I go up on stage and I get off and they're not in the room and I go, oh,
The fuck?
I thought they would have liked me. Maybe they don't. They just don't even care. Like, it's so funny. But I don't sit and watch
I always
the
worry that
next
other
guy.
people will think that about me if I'm not in the room.
Really?
Yeah. But it's like sometimes I'm watching and then I get a text. I'm like, oh, let me go outside and call this guy back. And it's got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. And
I was late to the store. I had to leave to go to another
or
set.
sometimes you see someone that's good and you're like, oh, fuck, I need to get out of here. I need to separate myself for whatever original voice that is, because God forbid it seep into my head somewhere on the road.
People
And
do
I start making like a Dave Attell. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there were times where I genuinely would talk like Ian Bagg.
Really?
Like, oh, I just fucking hear it in my voice. Mo.
I did a joke once. I forgot what it was, but I wrote it while I was watching a lot of Dave Attell. And it just came out sounding like a Dave Attell joke.
Everyone does that. Attell was the guy for us.
For New York?
Yeah. I remember Dimitri Martin pulling me aside and going, this is when I first started, 2 fucking monsters. No, he didn't say monsters, whatever smart word he used. It was a palindrome. He was like, 2.
He let you know it was one, too.
No, fucking Dimitri. Dimitri was a really good example of, I'll wrap that up and then I'll explain the other thing. He was like, 2 monsters are going on stage, Hedberg and Attell.
Oh, wow.
Never heard of either of them.
Really?
And I fucking, yeah. And I was, I went and watched.
Where was this? In New York somewhere?
Yeah, and we went down to the cellar and watched both of them, and I was like, oh my God. And I remember, this is fucking, now as a comic, I am appalled that I did this. But I took my tape recorder and I taped Attell's set so I could listen to it later.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, it's fucking if anyone saw me doing that, they'd lose their
Super
fucking
scared,
mind.
right?
Yeah,
I
but
taped
I was
Freddie
like,
Soto's set once when I was in the cover booth. I had to hide it in the curtains because I was like, if I get caught, I just want to study it.
I just want to figure out how he writes a fucking joke.
Yeah, exactly. Where does he pause? Stuff like that.
Yeah, like how
but
does
then,
he...
But if you get caught with a tape recorder, you're fucked.
Oh, if you get caught taping...
It's like wearing a wire in front of the mafia. And you're like, no, I'm just trying to... I'm
just learning.
I'm trying to make a funny card for my daughter. And so I'll use the audio of your voices. That's all I'm trying to do. You can't explain that to him.
It was... I remember just being like... Oh, just fucking insane. I remember the joke he told that I listened to over and over again, and I couldn't figure out how he thought like that was. I just wanted to get my brain thinking like that was. A lot of these comics come up and say men and women are different. Men and women are so different. Well, I'd like to take the other approach. Men and women are very similar when they're on fire. And it was this joke about it's not
When they're on fire.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking, I remember listening to that in my apartment going like, he's a fucking genius. He's a fucking... Anyway, I've sucked Dave Attell's dick on every podcast because I think he's so great. Here's what really was fascinating. This is the thing that I'm kind of stuck in right now, right?
Okay.
So Dimitri Martin was the first example of this. So I came out of college where you meet a dude and then your buddies, your boys. Like if you meet a guy, you're friends.
Right, okay.
And then we move up to New York and Dimitri and I were on the same open mic.
So you became friends that way?
We met and he said, great set. And I said, man, you too. And he said, I'm brand new at this.
Want to be besties?
And he goes, you want to hit some open mics together? And I was like, I would love that.
Yeah.
He goes, great.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
We start hitting open mics together. But Dimitri got ingratiated into the open mic scene like day one. Like
Joke writers are always better at that.
Oh, fucking
get in faster.
right away. And he started getting invited to shit. Like all of a sudden, everyone wanted to talk to him, and I'm standing with him, and he's like, it's like, it's like everyone's like, man, you're really funny, and he's like, thanks, and I'm just like, I was on the show too, but I bombed. I ate a dick, and Dimitri saw me eating dicks. I didn't have a voice at all. I didn't know anything, and then where's she going?
Play on her.
My daughter just came out to see what we were doing.
That's what it was?
Yeah, she wanted to
She
see.
pretend like she's going to swing?
Yeah.
Is she going to swing like 3 times?
Fake cleaning off the swing right now. Yeah. Her sister punched her in the face the other day.
Really?
I go, Isla, what the fuck? She goes, Daddy, I was trying to high five her. And I go, that's not a fucking high five. So anyway, yeah, I was like,
that would never turn to a punch in the face.
Yeah. Watch. Yeah. So, but Dimitri then, and that was when Above Caroline's, the comics owned it. There was a bar.
Oh,
it was
really?
Called it was like Planet Hollywood, but it was Planet Comic Wood or whatever. And so I remember Dimitri got invited to the premiere or a rap of something, and I remember I wanted to go, and Dimitri's like, yeah, I can't take you. And it was like real like it's not gonna happen. Like we're not brothers. Like
He said that?
No, he just was like very plain. Like
Well,
I can't take you. And I was like in my head I was like I thought we were friends. Like I thought we were like buddies. I thought we were doing this together. And then I was like, oh, this is every man for himself. Like this is not like we're not
He
teammates.
met in the business?
I realized that. Like, I realized that night. I was like, I can't expect him to just fucking pony me around everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Like, it's his career. It's not our career.
I got to go do this thing right now. It's like I can't.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you won't be coming with me. Like, and I remember that night, this is so fucking sad, but I remember I was like, I'll just go to Caroline's. And I went to Caroline's and I was outside and there was a window. You want
Hoping
talk
to
about
run
this?
into them?
What? No. Hoping that someone would be like, anyone would be like, Bert, come on in. And I'm standing outside and I see Dimitri talking to Janine Garofalo. And I'm like, how did he already meet Janine Garofalo? And I was like, I never even met Janine Garofalo. I only met her once. Brought her on stage at the Hollywood Improv and she wouldn't touch me. She wouldn't shake my hand. And I was
Really?
like, yeah, but she did make like a vocal, like a, ugh. And I was like, and then I was like, that sucked. I was such a big fan of hers, and she didn't even want to touch me. But maybe I don't know what joke I'd done before. I might have been playing on a. Do you need something, baby? Oh, okay. What a liar! What a liar!
She gave you a face and made the crazy sound.
Yeah.
My dad that was the maddest he ever got at me. Maybe second maddest. When I was looking, he was like old school European, whatever. But he was looking for the milk. He was like, I don't see it. I was like, it's there in the bottom shelf. He goes, I don't see it. I'm like, are you crazy? Look right behind the thing. He goes, you don't ever call me crazy. And I was like, Jesus, all right, man. I'm not saying that you're crazy.
It's a.
I was
expression.
so hurt by it. I was like, it's just my generation, dude. It's just something we say. I couldn't express any of that. All I could do was cry. Like sixth grade.
Ever call me crazy?
It wasn't. Really.
That's so great.
I realized this about Zach Galifianakis once. When I started, he was just finishing like the one night a week rooms.
Yeah.
He was just still doing that a little bit. And so we do the Comedy Underground in right near the West Side Eclectic is now. He was in an alleyway on 3rd Street in Santa Monica, and he was there. And I was like, that guy never says hi to me. And then I thought of it for a while. Here's what I want to talk to you about. It's like seeing yourself from outside yourself.
Yeah.
And judging your actions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So then I realized, like, he's never said hi to me. I've never said hi to him.
Yeah.
Why do I expect more from him than me? And one time I just went up there. I was like, hey, man, I'm Ari. He goes, oh, nice to meet you. And from then on, he was like, hi, Ari.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all you got to do, you're just putting these things on people.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just so fake. It's just because of what? Your own insecurities or something?
That's exactly what happened with me in the entire alternative comedy scene. I just, in my head, I secretly hated them.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all it took was showing up in their green room with a case of beer.
Like you apologizing to Jen Kirkman. Just be there. Everybody's pretty cool.
It was one of the biggest fucking revelations of my life. Because I was like, here's the worst part. I don't know if I ever told her this, but this was the worst part. Is I fucking said whatever I said, and then I was like, whatever, I don't care. I have no repercussions for my actions. Yeah. Then I go to South Africa, and I come back from South Africa, and I downloaded Jason Nash's podcast. And as we're taking off from South Africa to fucking L.A., no internet, no one to talk to, I hear her say all this shit about me, and I had to stew for 20, 30 hours.
This was recently?
This was a long time ago. This was probably 5 years ago.
Oh, Nash had a podcast back then?
Yeah, Jason Nash had a podcast before anybody.
Did he stop doing it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
he's like, these podcasts aren't going anywhere. Enough is enough.
Look at these emails. No, I think he still might do it every now and then. But
he does the Sklar Brothers podcast a lot.
But he, I listened to it at takeoff, and I had 28 hours.
And she started railing about you?
Railing about me. Who the fuck is Bert Kreischer? How does he like just this? And I was like starting to drink on the plane, and I'm like, fucking wanted to kill her. And thank God it was a long plane, because I was like, I fought with her in my head for like
full fight. You had it out
solid 8 hours, and then fell asleep, woke up, started drinking again, and I was like, what if I just apologized? Because my whole thing was, I didn't fucking say that. That was my thing.
Oh, right.
So why didn't I just go, hey, I'm sorry? Clearly I did say that.
Because I didn't mean what you think I meant.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's my fault. Whatever I said, clearly you interpreted it that way. And so that is, it doesn't matter what I thought I said. That's what I said, because that's what you heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's so fucking crazy. But you know, it's like you get stuck in grudges almost is like
You want to not be wrong too. You always want to not be wrong.
my look about it now is I don't want to be a bitch. Like I'm such a bitch.
What do you mean by bitch? By bitching about things or
I'm
being a
such
little bitch?
I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to be like that's probably a horrible terminology because it implies that it's a female. But like I don't want to be.
Horrible.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be a pussy. I don't want to fucking back down when I shouldn't back down.
That's a better non-female term, by the way. Saying pussy. That's way clearly more.
I don't want to be caught wearing a skirt. Okay. Like, look, I don't have my hair in pigtails, having my period. Yeah, like, look, it's not about women. It's about.
It's amazing. All those words about anti-male is just female. They're just saying woman.
Yeah, it's just a woman. But I've been stepped on so much in this fucking business that it's like you just, it's like you fucking. I just don't want to. I'm just tired. I look at guys who stand up for themselves, and I go, I want to be that guy.
Right.
I want to be the guy.
Like whom?
It's funny. I think about an example
of someone who stands up for themselves.
Like someone who just goes, that's not like Dane. Dane stands up for himself. He has never let someone fucking get one by him ever. And I have a lot of.
What do you mean? Like an insult or something?
Well, he just is. He's very confident in telling you how he feels about whatever, and he doesn't care if he hurts your feelings when he tells it to you, or if you think he's a dick or whatever. He tells you what's going on. I tweeted a joke about Tosh and him
apologizing.
Nope. I was at a lake in fucking Alabama, and I tweeted a joke. So I couldn't live tweet for my show on Travel Channel, so I tweeted a joke. Guys, good news! Daniel Tosh will be live tweeting for me for my show on Thursday. Right? It blows up. Like everyone, I'm like, oh, this is fucking genius. This is fucking genius.
Yeah.
Turns out that is the day after he tells the rape joke. So it's blowing up because everyone's like,
so Louis had the same problem.
Yeah.
Did you see that Louis C.K. thing?
Yeah.
Where he said, like, oh, I just watched an episode of a show and I said, hey, you're really funny. Like the day after. People like,
And I was like, I mean, just.
And so it started blowing because of that?
Everyone's like, is he going to be raping people? And I was like, whoa, what? And then all of a sudden I'm like, why is everyone saying, everyone's using the word rape? And I'm like, all right, hold on.
Did Daniel Tosh just rape someone?
And I'm like, I don't have internet at the lake. I just have my phone. I can tweet.
Oh, yeah.
But it's got to send out.
Text.
I can't just pull up a fucking webpage. So I'm like, I'm going to his webpage, and there's nothing on his Twitter. There's nothing. The apology isn't up. I can't even see the apology. Like all I'm seeing is him talking to fans or whatever. But I guess apology was lower, and then finally
because you had 1,000 responses to different people.
Yes, and then so finally I find out what it is, and I'm like, all right, this is fucking bad, and because I'm like, wasn't my intention, but I don't want to delete it. I don't want to take it away. I'm like,
because you feel like it'll be a statement if you delete something, right?
Yeah, because I like Daniel.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to fucking. It was a joke. It wasn't. It was just to try to draw attention to my show. Maybe wrong time, wrong place. So then I tweet Dane. Wow, guys, how crazy is this? Dane Cook's thrown his hat in the ring. Looks like Dane. Looks like I got to pick one. And then I tweeted. Guys, stop texting me. You're both very funny. I have enough episodes for you both to do. and then Dane direct messages me, and he's like, and I know Dane might be pissed that I'm saying this, but I mean, but it's more like it's more like I'm not trying to whatever.
He's cool enough now.
Yeah, but he goes, hey man, please don't tweet that I have beef with other fucking comics. Like,
oh really?
He's like, I'm getting a lot of shit for no reason at all. And then I look at my thing. I'm not reading now because I don't want to read what everyone's writing about Tosh. I just want it to be pure, so I'm just writing whatever the fuck I read. And then I'm reading them. It's like people are just shitting on Dane, and I go, my God, I just fucking invited that into his life. But here's the thing: I would have just not said a word and then gotten angry with Dane if he had done that to me, or I would just gotten angry and sat on it. He just speaks up and goes, please don't do that. You're fucking. He goes, not cool, man. I'm getting a lot of shit for no reason at all. Can you please just say? So then I write, guys. Huge apologies. This was all a joke. Obviously, Dane Cook and Daniel Tosh are not live tweeting for my show. I will be. And then everyone's like, "Who got mad at you?" And I was like, no one. I go, no one. I think it was irresponsible for me to pit two guys I respect. I see
a lot of people doing this when they talk shit about other people. Like, can you believe this guy's doing that? And I'm totally guilty of it. I'm sure you are too. Yeah. And then I have this thought of like, has anyone actually told the guy we're talking about that they shouldn't be doing this?
Yeah.
Has anyone mentioned like, oh, by the way, when you steal hubcaps, we all know, or something? I don't. Whatever it is, whatever it is, like, just tell them so that instead of like talking about it constantly.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing Dane does is he tells you what he's feeling and just
Yeah.
says it right to you, and you go, okay. Like the whole TJ thing went down, and he just said it, and then I made the mistake of fucking just throwing my 2 cents in. Me and you both sat in
Yeah.
that fucking room, and then all of a sudden it's like a fucking thunderstorm of shit.
TJ
And
got
you're
mad at me.
Yeah, TJ got mad at me too, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't know what we said or what we didn't say because it was in the fucking ice house, and who knows what is said in that room. It's
We
like
just talk.
you just talk, but it was like then I go like then I'm like, man, I'm really sorry. Like I fucking just
I told him, I was like, I didn't mean to invite any more pain into your life at all.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the issue. And I didn't think you were right to do it, but I still like you.
I like TJ a lot, and it just sucks because then I'm like, well, all right, because I just burned that bridge.
It's
And-
so easy just to avoid somebody after those things then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I ran into it at the Improv like a week and a half later, and we had talked on the phone or texted back and forth about it. And there was like, hey, we okay? And he was like, yeah, totally, man. We're friends. And I was like, okay. But if you just walk away, then you just let
Yeah.
something stew forever.
Well, I said the other day I got a tweet. Like I haven't really talked to TJ since,
Yeah.
and I got a tweet that was like I was involved and TJ was involved in,
Yeah.
and I was like,
He's busy. Trust me, he's doing shit.
I was like, I'm not gonna fucking say anything. I'm not gonna throw my 2 cents in.
Sucks to have to like worry about what you're going to say now.
Because I was like, I don't know how he's going to take it. He may think that I don't like him. He may think that I like him. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But I don't want him to think that I don't like him. I just want him to not think about it.
Yeah.
I want him to just go, oh, Bert. And so then I was like, fuck it. I'm thinking way too much. So I just,
Yeah,
put him
overthinking it.
I just put him in a tweet, and then he tweets back, and I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's like all that shit, man. It's just so much fucking. You know, I watch some people like
You get mad at people. Sorry, go ahead.
I watch some people, you know, not to fucking quote fucking Rogan at all.
Yeah.
But like he calls it beta mailing, where like a dude basically
this?
sucks up to another dude.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's like when you beta up to somebody, you like if I was betaing up to you at a club, I'd be like, man, Ari, you are so fucking funny, man. You're so fucking talented. And you were like, thank you. And you're like, seriously? You're like my fucking number one. Like
That's like too much already.
It's like, yeah, it's like, hey man,
Okay,
pay the
thank you.
respect and fucking stop and
It's
be a man
uncomfortable.
and allow me to respect you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's my new thing.
Yeah, you don't have to prostrate yourself in front of people.
Yeah, it's like if I send a text to someone,
Yeah.
I send one text, if they don't reply, that's it. I get it. I totally get it. I go, and I'm not going to go, hey man, did you get my text? I'll just go, right, fine, got it.
Yeah, because what are you hoping they say? Yes, I did, and I ignored
yeah,
it.
yeah, yes, I got it. And you're like, what were your thoughts? And like, none. I had none. So I'm like, not going to fucking do that. I'm not going to but it's so easy.
You're the worst person I know about texting.
I'm horrible, and I get pissed off. Like I'll
When
tweet.
they don't text you back, you're like, what the fuck? You don't text back for 5 days.
Fucking Steve Byrne is one of my good friends.
Yeah.
I've known Steve.
Oh, you did that Jameson tour with him,
Yeah,
right?
I've known Steve forever.
Steve's
He
really
is
cool.
someone I do not need to worry about our relationship. We are fine. Whatever the fuck it is, we will always be fine. Right?
Please watch Sullivan and Sons on TBS every whatever night. give it a chance.
So he gets Sullivan Sons, right?
Yeah.
And it's on Thursday nights, and I see
Thursday
one
nights.
of his tweets, and I said something. I tweeted something. I said, guys, everyone watch Sullivan Son, and no response. And I'm like, hey guys, my buddy Steve's got a new great show the next day.
No response from anybody?
From Steve.
Oh, okay.
And then I bumped into Frank Caliendo. He's like, yeah, I've been tweeting back and forth with Steve. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. So I look at Steve's profile. He's got 6,000 followers. And I'm like, I have 60,000, and he hasn't. I'm like,
and you're like, I know how many responses I get, and I can look through.
and I know go through them. So
Doing
I'm
the
like,
math.
all right. So then I tweet like, check out Steve on Trip Flip. Like, check out Steve. My show's after his. Hopefully you'll watch both back to back. He's a great guy. Nothing. And I'm like, I start literally fucking going, fuck, what the fuck is going on with Steve? Like, how the fuck? I start
And
spiraling.
this in how long a time?
Maybe 3 tweets,
Over a few days?
2 weeks.
Okay.
It's 3 tweets over 2 weeks. So then, all of a sudden, I piss and moan to my buddy Cowhead about it on air. Like, I talked to Cowhead about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I go, fucking, you get in your head about it. And then Lavelle Crawford starts going, man, Kevin Hart hasn't tweeted me in like fucking this. We used to be friends. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So like last week, Steve tweeted me 3 times. Tweeted about my show. I just saw the first one. Oh, okay, good. We're good. And then he tweeted again. And I was like, oh, that's
It became
awesome.
white noise.
Then he tweeted another one. I was like, oh, good for Steve. I didn't reply to any of those fucking tweets.
Yeah, I always read into those things. Like, how can you have written back? It's like sometimes the proper response is like if somebody sends you a text, go, ha ha ha.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just don't respond back.
Yeah.
You're like, it gave me the reaction you hoped for.
Oh, but your fucking ego's so busted.
Yeah.
And you're like, he tweeted 3 times about my show.
Because what do you want, acceptance? What is that?
Yeah.
You just want to feel like equals?
Who fucking knows? I want everyone to fucking like me. I want like.
But I wrote Burr once. I texted him. I was like, can you do this, my storyteller show?
Yeah.
No response back. And I was like, I get that from a lot of people. It's fine. Like, sometimes I have to find people's numbers from somebody else, you know, and I'm like, hey, it's sorry. And then he wrote me back like 6-7 days later. And I was like, oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I forgot to get back to you. I've just been on the road a lot. But how about after I get back in September, whatever it was?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't worry about it. He goes, no, I am worrying about it. I'm not supposed to not write you back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, thank you.
That's Bill's more of a man than I think the majority of comics.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. I remember Patrice.
I want to be able to have a response to people on like an email saying, hey, this is a lot to get to, so I'm going to put it away for a while, and there's a good chance I'll forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, can you write that response? If you ask a quick question, what time's the show? I can be like 8 o'clock and send it. If it's anything involved, I'll be like, it seems like work, and I'll deal with this later.
I wanted to email. My book submissions was due on the 1st of the month.
You're writing a book?
Yeah. And so I'm supposed to give 75 pages by the 1st of the month.
Is it a taut political drama?
Nope.
Okay. Fuck.
It is a story about a boy who parties too much.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Interesting.
So it is, but it's all short stories. It's all party stories.
Cool.
It's like the Will Smith story. It's like those things.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
my agent, I send her my submission. I go, I'll send it. Leanne's reading it. I'll send it to you tomorrow. And she goes, okay. So I send them all, and one of them doesn't send. And she goes, hey, I never got that one. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, and then I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, I don't have the attachment on my phone. I was like, I'll just do it later. Don't do it. Do stand up, party, wake up. I'm like, oh, I got to send that. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to fucking take my computer out of the bag and log it on. So then I finally do that, and I'm having problems with the wheels spinning. So I go, I got to take it to the Genius Bar. I can't get it. And I just put it off until today. Fucking today, I finally fucking gave her the story, and I was like, I felt like sending an email going, here's the deal, I can do this for you, but you're gonna need to like psycho call me, like
how do you
between
have
the
that
hours of
conversation
2
with
and
people?
4. What?
How do you have that conversation with people? Like, don't annoy me, but casually say I still need that.
Once
in a while, in a nice way.
Yeah, I told my agent. She knows well, like she is well aware. I need to be up your ass because you will not send it. I just get caught up in shit.
I feel like showing people like that, like business people, on my phone and be like, this is me setting 6 alarms for when I have to get up.
Yeah.
I set 3 for 1 point for that shower ready, and then I have 3 later for like, it's too late for the shower.
Oh, if you look at my phone, like at any given time, my wife loves doing this. Like if you look at my phone, it's just all fucking
Just
like,
stuff you don't get back to, huh?
Nothing. It's nothing. And then you enter my passcode.
Dude, I like that so much better.
And it's like, I have 30 missed calls. I have 19 text messages I haven't even read. I have 49 emails. I have 82 emails.
Yeah.
Then you look at my Facebook. I have 28 emails, like messages on Facebook. My Twitter is the only one I follow. So it's like,
I used to get mad at Rogan all the time if he didn't respond to an email or a text. I'm like, motherfucker, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Just fucking get with it. And then I started getting a little busier because of Joe Rogan, by the way.
Yeah.
I started getting busier. And then sometimes you get on a movie and there's 8 things and you're like, okay, I got to do this one first. I'll write back to you in a second. And you get into a back and forth with somebody and then you still haven't gotten back to that person and they just needed some quick advice.
Yeah.
Tell me what place that restaurant is or whatever it is. And you just keep not getting back to them and they're so mad at you. And then I realize like, Joe is 8 times busier than I am at my busiest.
Oh,
I'm like, now I get it.
I remember the first time he tweeted me, and then I tweeted him back, and he replied, and then we went back and forth for like a day, and I was like, cool. And then like a week later, I tweet him and nothing, and I'm like, at the time I had 3,000 followers.
Yeah.
Then now I'm at 60,000 followers, and I'll go to my phone, and it's like after doing this podcast yesterday, I go to my phone, and they don't like. When you look at your replies, it doesn't show you the last 200. It shows you the last 10, and then some of those are just lost
gone.
on your phone.
Yeah.
They're lost.
My
And it's
computer doesn't read all of them.
Yeah.
When I go on Twitter.com,
yeah.
if I get it that way, there'll be some on my phone that aren't on that.
Yeah, and it's like holy shit, like that's insane. And then I'm thinking, wow, at the time he probably had 300,000 followers, and here I am
Now
with 3,000. Like I'm seeing all mine.
And it's like it's 100 times more than you have to deal
It is
with.
100 times.
Do you do the math with people when you tweet them when they don't tweet you back, or just like if you ask them a specific question, like if you ask me a question like, "Ari, you free for lunch tomorrow?" or something like that over Twitter, and I don't write you back, then I do the math. I'm like, okay, I have 40,000. They
Yes.
have 80. Would double the amount of responses. It'd be too much. I don't know. But if they have 41,000, I'm like, no, not an excuse because that's the same as me.
Let me tell you something. Fucking Chael Sonnen, direct messaged me the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like,
Nice.
I tweeted something. He like, outstanding post, or, and I was like, I'm going to tell him, that I heard his podcast or whatever. He obviously is, whatever. I don't know. He heard me or whatever. So I was like, well, I want to get to know him. I mean, I fucking think he's awesome and he's a fucking interesting dude. So I go to DM him, and
he's not following you.
And he's not following me. And I go, Dane's the same way. I go, fucking cocksucker. And I go, son of a bitch. And then I start in my head, I'm like, why would it, doesn't he want to know what I have to say? And then I look, he's not following anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, he DMs everybody and then just never, he never, that's how he does it.
Yeah.
It's an easy way. And I was like, you know what? And then I was like, who do we really fucking expect me and him to go back and forth,
Yeah.
Like, it was cool that he sent that.
I take a lot
That's
of
all
shit
that
for the
matters.
same thing, and it's like, and like, why aren't you following me? It's like I don't want to follow anybody. But then you have to think of like these people are going to get mad at you for not following them back, and then it's like, well, first of all, that's the reason I stopped following people. I don't want people like Adam Hunter, people I'm friends with, like I'm just not into it lately. So I just want to lower the amount of people I follow.
Yeah.
You just didn't make the cut. It's not a big deal. But he's like, well, you don't follow me anymore. I'm like, all right, I'm out with everybody. I don't want this response anymore.
I follow too many.
But if some
follow
people get upset at
500.
you, like you're like, that's out of my control. I didn't mean it as an insult, so I can't worry about it.
I look and like,
How many people do you follow?
545.
So you don't see what everybody says. You just glance at
I
stuff
can't
here or
even
there.
look. And it's like, and the ones that I do are like people that were fans of the show of Bert the Conqueror, who post like ridiculous page upon page about Justin Bieber. It's like kids, and I'm like, I can't follow you anymore.
Yeah.
Or like one. There's
Oh yeah, it's just like it becomes too much.
yeah, and you're like,
Brody had that problem when he was going through his breakdown.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
man,
I even said like, have you seen the show yet?
it's fucking amazing.
Really?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I have to download it. It's not on
Oh,
torrents
it's
yet.
fucking so good.
Really?
Oh, it's
I'm
so
assuming it
good.
is. I don't know why I say really, but I want to.
It's
I've
so
heard only
good.
that.
Here's the thing. It is, you watch the first episode and you go, oh, I love Brody. That's
Yeah.
it. That's what the first one is. And then at the end of the first one, they show his breakdown. And they show it. And you're like, oh my God, how are they pulling out of this? I said this to Sarah last night because she hasn't seen it. And then I go, and in the middle of the second one, halfway through the second one, you go, hold on. There's a second where you go, I know Zach would never exploit Brody, but are they exploiting him? And
Right.
then the second you think that, it's just enough of a hook to go, no, they're not. I want to watch his emotional journey out of this.
Right.
And they show that, and it ends with you going, I can't wait to see him tonight. I'm like fucking
Right.
so proud of him. I'm so excited for him. Like,
Cool.
Like you're like, fuck, Brody. Like they show him coming back. It's fucking so good.
Wow.
It is. It is a show that you will watch the
You
first
think
one.
when you're shooting that, like it's the Brody Stevens show about his life and stuff, and then he has his breakdown. At first, you think you're like, "Fuck," and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, this might be."
I guarantee
really
you, there's
good.
one person on that was like not Zach.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Zach was like, fucking, because Zach's the one that had him committed.
Yeah.
Zach and Raph.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that. I bet Zach probably thought of it a little beyond whatever I would think of it, and was like, "Look, this is going to become common knowledge. People are going to know he had a nervous breakdown, and how are we going to get him out of this?
How are we going to make him, because people know, not back into it?
Right. How are we going to
As
make
Rath always
sure,
said, it's like it's going to be embarrassing, and that's going to set him back in. So
Yeah.
we have to make it not embarrassing for him.
and it's not. It's
No.
man, you look at his Twitter feed, and it's everyone you respect in comedy going, I started watching and I couldn't stop watching it. And he retweeted all of them,
Yeah.
but you could tell it's like fucking everyone. It's really good.
Did you?
You know what's so
Yeah.
funny? He came over here during that during that period where he was starting to spiral.
Came over here?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
of the
called
bell?
him. He lived down the street, so I used to call him all the time and go, "Hey, we're having a barbecue. Come down and have eat some food or whatever." And he was always like, "I can't. I wish I could. And I'm busy."
Yeah.
And then one day he was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And he showed up, and he looked totally fine.
Yeah, that's the thing with mental
Yeah.
problems.
He was genuinely fine. He was
and you
like-
have some times where you're like, today is great. And then tomorrow, the next day, will be like out of control.
yeah.
Did you ever hear my podcast with Brody?
No.
It was one of my better ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard his podcast with Redman.
Oh, yeah?
The one where he had his roommate, Johnny Spanish, in.
Oh.
I mean, that was obviously before you knew that he was, having problems with his medications or whatever, or even that he had any issues like that at all. And I fucking loved it because I was like, he so micromanaged it. It was like he couldn't get out of the forest because he kept walking in circles. It was fucking hilarious. He fought with Johnny Spanish. Johnny Spanish left at one point. Red Band left at one point.
Really?
Yeah, it was a great podcast. I loved it.
Yeah, I was going to have him on once, and I was like, ooh, you're not fully better yet. So
Oh, yeah?
let's wait another couple months.
He's it's a really great show. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
I hope they do a season.
I'm sure I will. I don't know why nobody's fucking ripped it to the internet yet.
That's the way HBO works. HBO Go's really hard to steal.
Really?
Yeah.
The nerd should know. Anyway, let's get back to this for a second.
What time is it? Do I still have time?
What time do you have to leave?
10 o'clock is the show.
Oh, yeah, you have time. It's
What time is it?
8:15.
Oh, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
You're like, oh, this is totally dragging.
Oh, God. No.
is just crawling by.
I was having so much fun. It's
I
like
know.
you ever get into a place where you're talking and then you're like, this has been 2 hours? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I smoke a lot. That happens too with time.
God.
Time goes away.
So, what were we going to say?
Do you ever see another comic, who's getting some level of fame or respect, and want to tear him down in some way in your head?
I can't say yes.
Yeah.
I can't say yes only because I think I am better at. I would rather tear someone down before they get famous.
Say that person's terrible. This guy sucks.
No, I don't know if that's not really accurate either. I don't know. I don't think I really tear people apart. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of someone who's gotten very famous very quickly. Like I always liked Tosh. When he blew up, I was like, I still fucking like him. I've always
that was
liked
an
Bill
easy one
Burr.
for a lot of people because it was like some people said he was an asshole. I didn't know him one way or the other, but like I was always like, well, he's hilarious
Yeah.
and he's making it. So
I've always loved
that's the
Bill
good thing
Burr.
for us.
I've
Yeah.
always loved I love Joey. I love that he's now getting a lot of respect on the road.
It's usually younger people, right? When they hit
Adam Devine.
26.
Adam Devine.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect example. I fucking like him.
Yeah, he's
I
fun.
like
He's
him. I don't
nice.
care. There's advice I'd give him about stand up.
Yeah.
Where I would venture to say it's valuable. Where I go, always be doing the road. It's not about the money right now. Don't try to get your big payday.
Because you went through this.
Yeah. Make sure you fucking get out on the road and get the clubs to like you. If you give them somewhat of a deal now and you get your name out and you have killer shows, don't try to make your killing right now. Like, that's my 2 cents.
Right.
Well, I didn't get to have that conversation with him, but like he came to Omaha this week and did a guest set.
Really?
And yeah. And
What's he doing in Omaha?
he's from there.
Oh, okay.
But I partied with him in
Yeah,
New
Divine's
Orleans.
really cool and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TJ, TJ
Miller?
was I would say a young talent. I don't know how old he is, but like he's.
Right when he got out here, he made good in Hollywood.
But it's like what am I going to begrudge a guy who can fucking book acting gigs?
But some people do. And
yeah,
they
it's
start
like some people are just good at it. They just go.
No,
to the
I'm
room.
saying some people do begrudge them in some
really?
way where they're like, well, I've done this, this, and this. And for me to accept that you're making it.
That's so. Yeah, that's insane to say with TJ. Only because I'm yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really begrudge anyone.
I used to do it at the store when she was torturing me and not letting me become a regular.
Yeah.
And I would see other people get passed. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm better than that guy. And
Well,
then
that's
it
a
made me
very-
want to
that's-
hate them more.
That's a very easy, because that is the exact same thing. That makes sense. And yes, there were times like where I'd watch people because I worked the door at the Boston Comedy Club, and I'd watch young comics come in and just fucking get spots, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
hold on, how come I'm having to work the door and this guy gets a spot? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But then at the time, I was like, I always had a healthy respect for good comedy, so like. That happened to Nick Swardson, but I never pissed and moaned about Nick.
Because he
So I was
was
like, he's
kind of
fucking
hilarious,
funny.
yeah.
Jordan Rubin, never pissed and moaned because he's fucking hilarious. Like,
The way that guy
it would
catches.
happen. I'm trying to think. The people it would happen to now, I mean, I don't think are doing comedy anymore.
I've been telling the door guys at the store now. It took me to realize at some point where I realized, like, some of my friends would get past, and I realized, like, oh, it's not them or me. It's just not me.
Yeah.
So then it may as well be them.
Exactly. That my whole
She's just
thing about
stopping
my
me.
stand up
She's
is
not
like, I was like, look, I'm just not. I'm fucking. I haven't been doing stand up long enough. Stop it.
What a gigantic dog. What kind of dog is it?
Bull Mastiff.
God, that thing is bigger than my dick.
And I've seen your dick. She's a fucking.
You know, I got banned from the Improv for 6 months because of you.
From me?
Yeah.
Why?
It wasn't because of you, but you were like, you said something to me after, I was like, I'm just remembering this now. You said something to me at the Improv bar, and you're like, I saw your HBO set or something.
Yeah.
And then, And then I was like, I appreciated the compliment. I was like really happy with it.
I talked to like 3 dudes out of that I complimented. It was you,
Yeah.
Jesselnick, and he quit
Jim
doing
Jeffries?
comedy. No, the guy
Quit doing
he used to
comedy?
work with Stan Hope, and he had
Andy Andrist.
nope. He used to work with Stan Hope.
Oh, Sean Rouse.
Sean Rouse.
Yeah.
Sean Rouse. I was like, you guys are the fucking. all
After that
3
show,
of
he
you.
was my favorite comic for about a year.
Yeah,
after that.
yeah. And so but why? What did I do?
Well, because I was fucking around that show, I took my dick out.
Yeah.
But then they asked me to go on that night at the end of like that rock comedy show.
Yeah.
It was Unruly.
Yeah.
And I could see you there watching, and I wanted to do something to impress you.
Shut the fuck up! Are you serious?
I just wanted to do something. I was like, fuck, I got to do something to impress this guy. He just gave me a compliment.
Are you fucking
I
serious?
can't go down in this audience of fucking tatted up fucking drunks that aren't listening. I can't go down.
God, that's so funny. It's so funny because it's so funny because I remember that night, and I remember seeing you on stage thinking, man, I'm not that comfortable on stage. That's all I thought. Like, it just was like, the one thing was like the way you hold the mic, the way you talk. I go, man, he's really put in some fucking hours. Like, he really, that's the one thing
Really?
I didn't even listen to the jokes because I was like, man, he's so comfortable on stage. I still get nervous and I'm still fucking antsy. I'm still, I may get comfortable, but
Yeah.
at the Improv, I always,
Took me a while there.
I always get up and I'm like slapping the piano and I'm like, all right, what are we going to talk about? Black people? All right, perfect. Asians? Here we go.
Like you're worried, you mean? You're still not...
I just did a tell impression. No, but I still get worried. Yeah. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah. So I put my dick out again, and they called me like a week later.
Who called you?
Eric Abrams, when he was still a talent
What did
coordinator
he
there.
say?
He was like, "Hey, Ari," and it was like a week and a couple days later.
Yeah.
Like that might have been on a Thursday, and it was like not the next Monday, the Monday after that. So I was like, it's already passed.
Yeah.
I just thought he was calling to give me a spot or something. I was like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "I got to ban you," and I was like, "What? Why?" He's like, "Pulling your dick out. You can't do that."
You
And they're
look
like,
weird.
"Would you do that at other places?" I'm like, "Yes, I do it at the Comedy Store, like weekly." What are you talking about?
And he still banned you?
He was like, they wanted to ban you for a year. I talked them down to 6 months.
Are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
And they said they got a lot of complaints later. And that's when I realized, oh, that's just a tool they use in order to make it seem
no one
like.
gets complaints.
Yeah. They just.
I mean,
heard
the worst is when they get complaints and they think it's funny to play it for you. Like, that's happened to me on the road. That happened in Texas. The guy, I was in Dallas and the guy
because
was
they think you wouldn't care because you're
yeah,
better than
and I
this.
go, dude, you are fucking with my head. Like, I'm getting on stage right now, and he was like,
You're showing
he's
me
like,
the person's making some good
he's
points.
like, you got to hear this guy. This guy's fucking message is hilarious. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, you got to hear this. And then he starts playing it, and it's like, I was at the show last night, and the joke he does about his daughter with the dog and his other daughter is child pornography. It is child pornography, and I will not stand for it. I will do whatever I can to get his children taken away from him. And I'm like,
Really?
I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah, and I've been telling this joke. I told it on Showtime. I was like, no one's ever had a fucking problem. People at Travel Channel have heard this joke. And trust me when I say this, if anyone's going to pull me aside and casually say,
It'd be
there's
Travel.
a bit we should lose, it would be Travel. They've never once. They've seen my act. The entire company has seen my act.
Really?
They know everything about me, and they've seen that joke in particular,
Some
and they're
people
like,
just get upset.
yep.
And you
you're
can't worry
like,
about those people. You have to be like, all right, you're just great. You're like
Yeah.
an angry person.
God forbid that guy write a fucking blog.
Yeah.
Fucking one blog, and all of a sudden everyone's like,
We were told that when Mooney got complaint letters is when I started the store. We were supposed to call him and read them to him.
really?
Yeah, and then we would send those people 2 free tickets and say he will strongly be reprimanded. Thank you for your input. Here, enjoy 2 free tickets to the Comedy Store. And he may or may not have been on the night they came. Again, we're just calm, and he'd laugh. He's like, "Tell me what's the next page."
Wait, did you ever hear my favorite one is Doug Stanhope?
What?
Did you ever hear what Stanhope did?
About a complaint?
Yeah.
No.
He got a complaint letter. He got a complaint email.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was at your show, and I did not find any of your material funny. The jokes about abortion and rape and child molestation, and especially jokes about 9/11, were in horrible taste, and I will do everything I can to see that you get punished for this. And Doug Stanhope writes back, I couldn't agree more. And he goes, as a matter of fact, that night, as I received my script from the club, I was appalled that they would have me talk about such subjects. Please reach out to the Better Business Bureau, to the club, write whatever. And then the lady writes back, well, I knew something was going on. It couldn't have been that you would come up with that material. It was like fucking genius. It was genius. It's like, fuck. You know, it's like when you see someone do a genius thing like that, that is like, it's like, you know, like that for me is like, that is the heart and soul of a comedian.
Yeah.
The guy that is going to, even in the moment of that, he's going to... Here's the thing that fucking drives me nuts, okay? So when you start comedy, the day you start and the day you start getting sets, you change your style of thinking. You...
To what?
Uproot it. I uprooted mine entirely to go, everything's a fucking joke. I will find comedy and everything. I'll carry a notebook with me.
I used to say, instead of looking at the world with rose-colored glasses, you ever heard that saying?
Yeah.
Like, everything's nicer. We look at the world with idiot-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Like, how are people fucking up that I can call attention to it?
Exactly. And you put a notebook in your pocket, maybe even a tape recorder, and if anything's funny, you write it
Everything
down.
you're internalizing goes through that. I don't know words anymore. Yeah.
No, it does that Rube Goldberg, whatever it is. But yeah, it's
Rube Goldberg, yeah.
everything. And people applaud comics and they love comedians, but they got to realize there's a price you pay. Just like an athlete goes, I'm going to do fucking X, Y, and Z to be an athlete. I'm going to eat horrible fucking meals that taste like shit because I want to be in perfect condition. I'm going to sleep good. I'm not going to party. I'm not going to smoke weed. I'm not going to fuck before my fight. I'm going to train ridiculous amounts of hours, and I'm going to live like a monster until my fight's coming up or until my game. I'm going to be a fucking beast. That's what they pay. And I'm not saying that we have anything similar to that, but we are
similar.
the people that we try to find humor in everything.
Yeah.
So when people get fucking pissed that Dane makes a joke about this or Daniel makes a joke about that, I go, hold on. Like, you can't get both sides. Like, it's like Patrice said, we're just trying to make you laugh. We're not trying to make you like. It's been so hard for me because I'm trying to change my way of thinking to start editing myself because I don't want to offend people on the road and have someone videotape it. But then I go,
no, you cannot be concerned with that.
at one point I was like, I was making a fucking joke in whatchamacallit in fucking Omaha, and it was in bad taste. I forget exactly what the joke was, but it was like, you know, it's like when you're talking and you're like this Mexicans, you know, like you make your little offhand remark, and I was like, and it got a groan. I was like, guys, it's a fucking joke. But I was like, you need me to? I need to be able to have the right to do that.
Yeah.
In order to do the other shit too.
Yeah.
Like, you need all the facilities.
Yeah, Patrice said it once the best after, I think O&A had that problem with the homeless guy saying he wanted to, like, make love to Condoleezza Rice hard.
Yeah.
And they took that to be a rape joke.
Yeah.
And they were like, one, it's not us. It's this, we're making fun of this guy who's talking crazy talk.
Yeah.
And two, he didn't really say, it wasn't a rape joke. He was just, like, you're interpreting it wrong. And he went on, like, Fox News or MSNBC with one of the girls who's, like, against it. Did you ever see this?
Brilliant.
Yeah. And she's like, we're outraged. He goes, she is outraged, everyone. She's outraged. It was so fucking great.
Yeah.
But the point he made was that it goes, lollipop jokes and rainbow jokes and rape jokes, they all come from the same place of, like, do you like this?
Yeah.
And then sometimes yes, sometimes no, and you figure out what's funny based on that.
It's the truth, and it's like, here's what it did to me. So the Tosh rape thing happens, and then
I wish those guys hadn't apologized.
What?
Tosh and Dane Cook. I hate that they apologized.
I wish that I just thought it was a tad bit out of character for Daniel. Like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Once you open that floodgate, I mean, every joke he makes on Tosh.0 is apologable.
Yeah.
Is
Apologeticable? I don't know what the word is,
fucking
but yeah.
morons we are. We're just sitting here apologetical.
Well, let's throw another syllable in. Maybe it'll work.
But like the thing that I came out with, and this is like, it's like someone said this. I think Louis said it, and he goes, "You know what's great about this is now we talk. We're talking about it.
Right.
He's like, we're talking about it. We're having a conversation about it.
Reminding people
you should
stand up.
thank him for doing this because now we're all talking about it. So I was like, yeah, I'm on the road. I was driving with Leanne from fucking DC to Atlanta to Tampa,
Yeah.
and I ended up talking to Leanne about it and my wife. And
Just recently?
yeah, this is right when it happened.
Oh, okay.
So I tweeted about that thing. I was in Alabama and I was leaving to go to Tampa. So I tweet about it and I read about the Tosh thing. So I start talking to Leanne. I said, it's so funny. I don't really have any rape jokes. But I don't have any rape jokes. I don't have any rape jokes just because I don't have a good one.
Yeah.
Like I had one that was really good, really good. And
What was it?
I don't even want to get into it because it's a little longer and it's like,
Okay.
but I was so proud that I'd gotten away with it. I told it one night and it fucking killed. And I go back to the back. We're at the Brea Improv and Matt Fultron sitting in the back. And I go full charge. I just told a fucking, can you believe that worked? And he goes, yeah, except for the fact that there are chicks that have been straight up raped in here and you just ruined their night. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
So, but then Leanne said to me, she goes, what you need to do is if you want to be a responsible comic or you want to be a responsible artist or talent,
Yeah.
she goes, just find out what's important to you and talk about that. So when they do come down on you, you can stand behind what you
No,
believe
I
in.
meant this joke.
Yeah.
I had this problem when I was making fun of fat people. And I had this joke about how people would have to, like, as they walk, they have to walk, like, one leg around the other. You know, when they're too fat, they can't go straight.
Yeah.
But then I remember doing it a few times early, like 2 years in.
Yeah.
And then doing it, and there was a really fat girl there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to tell this fat joke.
Yeah.
But you're going to feel bad.
Like,
And that's not what I'm going for.
Yeah, it's like. Do you ever have like like they pull you aside and they're like, there's a guy in a wheelchair in the third row, and you're like, all right, won't be telling my wheelchair joke, and then
Right.
you're like, wait, why would I ever tell it if God
If I
forbid-
couldn't tell in front of a guy.
Yeah, if I
So it made me
couldn't-
stop saying the word retard.
Yeah.
I used it when there was a retard or Down syndrome person or something
Really?
in the back, and I felt so shitty. And I'm like, I wasn't talking about retarded people.
Yeah.
I was talking about some guy who did something dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing around the word retard, and I'm like, it's making him or anyone who has a relative that's retarded feel bad for the wrong reason.
And it shouldn't. It's I see what you're saying. You want it.
If I drop an N-bomb,
yeah.
I meant nigger. You know what I mean? If I say it, it's like,
Yes,
that's what I
yes,
meant.
yes.
And only black people will be
Yeah.
offended by it because, yes, that's who I'm talking about. I'm not saying, like, look at this guy niggering up my trash. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to,
Yeah.
no, I'm only using it so the right people would get affected by it.
Yes. I see.
You know, if I
so-
call you a fag for wearing sandals, I'm like, I'm offending a whole other group of people that I'm not even trying to.
Yeah.
Fuck the sandal wearing people. That's who I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
But then there's this gay guy who's afraid to come out of the closet who just feels like,
like he feels dirty. He goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, great, I'm worse."
And that's what I'm not trying to do at all.
That's an interesting way to look at it. So that's a really interesting way to look at it because you don't want friendly fire.
Right. Yes, exactly.
You want whatever you're aiming at to be the thing you're aiming at.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, like, if I'm going to make fun of apples, I don't want to call them the Asians of the, like,
Right.
like, and then everyone's like, wait, what the fuck did I do? And like, yeah, like you just want to go apples. I'm talking about apples. It's an interesting insight because I never looked at it that way. And there's so many times that I use that I'm irresponsible with language where I just go,
Yeah, but that's
it's
our
the
job.
quickest way to get from A to B.
But
and
we're
I get us
linguists.
there. Yeah.
That's our job. We're orators.
Yeah.
We're supposed to think of the right word to evoke the right thing.
Yeah. I don't use the N-word in my act or even in passing for two reasons. Number one, I just don't like, it's a fun word to
I've
say.
tried not to, but I can't. I just, every set I have to throw at least 5 or 6 in. No, I haven't said one on stage for a long time.
I've never said one. Oh, I've said it on stage. I said it on stage with.
I'm talking about the word. Usually I can throw it in.
No, I said it on stage because I had a story that it was really perfect. And it was the punchline.
Yeah.
And a black guy said it in the story, and I believed that it was integral to the story, and that story was worth it, and that it was
Yeah.
a funny thing that happened to me, and and an old black guy. I told it in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And an old black guy goes, "I like the story. I just wish there was a different word you could use." And I was like, I go, "Yeah, but that's what he said." And he goes, "I know, but you're a smart guy. If you could think of a different word, it may get everyone to laugh."
See, those are the kind of things that, like that, what that guy said,
Yeah.
that would make you think about apologizing.
Yeah.
You know, we're like,
Like, he wasn't mad at me.
You do have a small point. I can't
Yeah.
completely dismiss your point.
And so I just stopped telling it because I was like, I go, fuck it. Nothing's that important. No word is as important to me as losing a fucking, like, as
Over something you don't like. You're not trying to make this guy
Yeah.
feel bad.
I'm not trying to. I was trying to tell a story that happened to me, and he was like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of racial slurs that are not as offensive anymore. You might want to look at those.
Yeah.
And he goes, that word means a lot
It's
to
electric.
a lot of
That
people.
word's electric.
And I was like, well, I really appreciate you telling me that. He goes, I don't mind you talking about black people. I don't mind you
Yeah.
talking about race. It's not what I.
When people say, "How would you feel if I said the word kike?" and it's like, kike doesn't have nearly the kind of reaction,
Yeah.
ability as the N-bomb does.
Oh.
It makes everyone shut up and feel weird. If you just heard it, you feel weird. Like
It's-
one of the
it's the truth, and it's like,
one of the funnest times I've ever had on stage is I was saying how I had this bit about Jews being poor at some point, and we were like the NBA. They had a team called the Syracuse Jews. It was like we were boxers and everything. Like
Yeah.
when we came out here, and I said we were the original niggers. But I meant it because, like, no, we were looked down on in the same way.
yeah.
And some, like, jovial black guy in the back was like, no, you got to say niggas. It's niggas, that thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So that's it? And he goes, yeah. I goes, okay, so you filthy niggas are moving into my neighborhood. And these fucking niggas are fucking white women. and he was just loving it. He was laughing. And that's totally okay. But if you complain about that shit and take it out of context,
Yeah.
it would sound horrible. But
You take anything I say out of context, and it
Yeah.
sounds horrible. I started, I've been micromanaging this. I'm like, some fucking guy was videotaping at UCB last night,
Yeah.
videotaping the front row, and we're doing Doug's podcast, and then I was like, wait, I'm fucking tape recording it. Like, I better be careful with what I'm saying. I was like watching him, like, easy, buddy, but I'm talking to a fucking microphone,
Yeah.
to be
In front
given
of
to
a lot of
everybody,
people.
yeah.
but only the people that are here,
Yeah,
not
it was-
people who couldn't get in.
Yeah, and I said like fucking so many irresponsible things, but
It's like, I don't know. Who cares?
not
words.
irresponsible bad, but like I said, like Charlize Theron killed her dad, and apparently it was her mom. But like
She did?
Oh yeah, her mom killed her dad. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But that's actually accurate. But I was saying Charlize Theron did it, and they had to smuggle her out of the country. And everyone's like, wait, you can't say that about somebody. I go, no, that's the fucking truth. That's what I believe the truth to be.
Yeah.
And then Amy Schumer was like, it was her mom. And I was like,
details wrong.
and I was like, oh. And then I said that fucking, I was out of it. I said that Princess Leia,
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, broke into someone's backyard and knocked out all her teeth with a rock. And then someone in the audience like, I think you're thinking of Margot Kidder. And I was like, you're right. And then I said that the entire cast of Archer lives in Atlanta. And this kid fucking Ben Schwartz was like, you're out of your fucking mind. I know 3 of the dudes and they're my neighbors. And I was like, all right. And it's like, I was like, thank God I was inaccurate on everything that came out of my mouth. So by the time I said Charlize Theron killed her dad, everyone's like, fuck
We
this
don't
guy.
believe you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We don't believe a word you're fucking saying. But then I was like, then you go, what if Charlize Theron hears that? Like, what if she listens to Doug Loves Movies?
I tried getting a rumor started for years of that fuck, what's her name? God damn it, I can't remember her name.
Oh,
Forget it
fucking
then.
come on.
Did you ever see the movie Bully?
Yeah.
Who's the girl that was the hot slutty girl? Bijou
Wait.
Phillips.
Yes.
The rumor was that Bijou Phillips has swamp pussy.
That was your rumor?
That was the rumor, and I really wanted to get it going. And I hope to one day to hear it from someone else, talking to someone, a third person, and I would have known.
I wonder if the people who go like, oh, Cameron Diaz has horrible skin.
Yeah.
Like, they started that one because that got around quick.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, her and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt doesn't take showers.
Yeah, there's things like that.
Yeah, there's there's like really good ones. Where you're
Somebody
like,
saw him on an off day, and he
Yeah.
just come from the gym. It's like
Keanu Reeves. I remember the gay guys love to say that Keanu Reeves was gay, and I'm like, I can't believe it.
You
Gay
refuse to
guys.
believe it.
I refuse to. He's
Not
fucking
Superman.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I love when they do that. That's the other thing. That's really fun to do to your friend, by the way, when you're in college. Just you and 3 dudes sit them down and go, we
Tell
think
them a
you're
fake-
gay.
Oh, really?
And then they won't get pussy for like 7 months. They'll be overthinking everything they do.
Because they're so worried about.
They're like, look, am I gay? Are you fucking kidding me? How did I not see this? We used to do it to my buddy Obi all the time.
Obi.
And then we thought he was gay at one point, and then he pulled me aside and he was like, now that you said that, it's like I Like you just can't talk to chicks. He's like, you fucked me up. And then we thought it was funny, so then we did it to another guy. Yeah, we were real sensitive. We were good friends.
It's college. You can't care.
Fuck.
Do you ever, with your Travel Channel show and everything, do you ever feel like you're, like, not the word high and mighty, but something along those lines? Do you ever feel like, hey, I'm better than you to anyone else?
Never.
Never?
I feel the exact opposite. Like, I don't feel like, first of all, I'm bottom of the barrel talent at Travel Channel. Like, I'm not the most important guy at Travel Channel. So I've never felt like that with anyone I work with at Travel. And secondly, I genuinely think I am very happy at Travel. Yeah. I love my situation at Travel. I love what I do. I love the people I work with, and I love the company I work for. I would never trade it for a million years. However, I do look at people, and I think...
When's your show on? Thursday
nights at 9. Okay. It's called Trip Flip, and so we just got picked up for a second season. So, but I always think that I think that no comedian envies my position. I think they go, "Oh, it's nice that he's a job." I mean, yeah, I'd take a job like that, but
no,
is it
way wrong?
I'm sure
a ton of comedians envy your position.
I think a lot of them look at it and they're like, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, but is it what I want to do?
People you're thinking about. Oh, obviously, it's not what anyone's dream is.
Yeah, it's no one's dream to be like
90% of comics or more, even in LA.
Yeah.
Are not making their living in comedy or Hollywood in general.
I think I'm grateful for that. Like that's the one thing that here's the other
they're
side
looking
of
at any jobs like this guy's doing what we all want to do.
I've done enough showcases with people that I've seen them turn down auditions, turn down jobs. I've never turned down an audition. I've never turned down any job. I've taken everything that's ever come my way. So there's a lot of opportunities that thankfully did not happen. So that this one could. So I look at my career as like, I could be doing a fucking dancing llama show on fucking Animal Planet.
Did you audition for one once?
I had one. I've done a pilot for that. I had a show where I had to search for the world's fluffiest dog. I did a celebrity bowling competition.
I always think it's weird. You ever see those syndicated shows? Like the not Xena, but like the next 10 years after Xena, the Warrior Princess, where it's like it's on, and if you're some actor, you're like, hey, you want this audition? It's like, I'll take the audition. Then you get it, and you're like, now I'm stuck on this thing, making $2,000 a week.
There was a
whatever it is for 5 years. You can't do anything else.
Do you remember Doc? Which was Doc was shot in Canada.
Okay,
it was Miley Cyrus's dad, Billy Ray Cyrus's show where he played a doctor, a country doctor.
Oh yeah,
and he was country doctor.
What was that on?
It's fucking PAX.
Syndicate. Okay.
PAX.
Yeah.
And this woman was on PAX, and I knew her, and she had a fucking reoccurring role, but the money sucked, and she was like, "We're fucking never gonna stop doing it, and the money's not great enough for me to retire, and I want to be doing something else. I want to be doing movies."
Yeah.
And you were like, "Fuck it." But like, I look at it like I look at all the shit I've done, and I go,
Precious still takes cabs.
What?
Yeah. Precious takes cabs. She's done 3 movies. She doesn't have retirement money. She doesn't have town car money.
Like I look at it, I just look at it the other way, and I go, all the shit I've done. Travel Channel's allowed me amazing opportunities. They got me on Letterman. They've got me.
It legitimizes you a lot. The fact that you're on something. I remember this. Graham Elwood had this. He was on a game show network.
I remember Graham Elwood was on. I remember the show he was on.
And people are like, ooh, that guy's. When I started, people were like, that guy's on something.
Yeah. But here's the other thing is that I think, and this was my advice that I'd give to Adam Devine, is you got to keep doing stand-up, because if you're not doing stand-up, then all of a sudden you're just the guy that's hosting the show, and then when that goes away, you're like, when's the next hosting gig coming? And they're like, audition for it. You're like, wait, I don't want to host a fucking dancing dog show on Animal Planet. And they're like, the money's good. Like, and then you get hooked into this like Wayne Brady direction where you're just like doing a game show.
You're like, I don't want to be doing these things.
Although I will say that like after
Alex
watching,
Trebek. You would do 40 years on Jeopardy?
Oh, I think I probably would. I
would. We'll give you 40 years right now.
Fucking yeah.
$5,000 a week, up 2.5% for inflation every year.
Right now, right now I would not. Right now I would not, because I feel like I'm in a place in my career where I go, I have this Travel Channel thing. We just got picked up for a second season. This is my second project on Travel that's been picked up. So it's like it's
hard to get a show picked up too. Even if you get a show, it's like the odds are way below 50%.
Let's talk odds in this business. Getting an audition these days is tough. Getting an audition and having the producers want to see you.
Yeah.
Getting called back to producers and getting like in the running for a show, that's very rare. That never happens. It feels like, you know, when you're auditioning at least. Then to get a pilot is a huge deal.
Yeah.
To get a pilot greenlit For 6 episodes is a big deal. For 13 is a fucking windfall. You're like, my life's about to change. I can start saving money. I can start, if I want to get married,
You're
I can
going to
now
make
buy a ring.
$200,000-$300,000 immediately.
You're gonna make $300,000 instantly.
Yeah.
And then when you get picked up for a second season, everyone's money bonuses. You all of a sudden are in this like fucking holy shit. I'm making money on top
you
of
can
money. I
start
haven't even got
drawing
my
on the
checks for the first season, and now the second season's starting. And you're like, oh, and that is a great deal to be in. And so I look at that and I go, I'm so fucking lucky. I have this book coming out. I'm in talks about a sitcom, like where I have a deal, but it's like we're talking about like what, like it's like all these things are happening, and then I go so right now I wouldn't take Alex Trebek, but in 6 months
you might go like,
when the book's out and everyone's like, oh, I don't know, I'd be like, put me on to fucking in a heartbeat.
That's what Drew Carey did. I think he was like, you know what? I think I'm done.
Yeah,
Let me just take the prices right, and I'll retire with this.
And I'll just
people say I used to be a stand-up. It's okay.
Yeah. Just go up and be like, you're living healthy. You're
a couple
living in
hours a
Hollywood.
day.
Yeah, a couple days. You love everyone you work with. You can get everyone fucking jobs. You're just show up. You know, it's like the cool thing about travel.
So Jeff Ross, yeah.
What does Jeff Ross do?
He has a show that's starting real soon, actually, The Burn.
Yeah.
I think sometime, maybe next week. It's just a roast of the week, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, just of the news of whatever, movies that came out. And we were talking, he was like, as he was like getting ready to like start like writing and stuff. I was like, what's the matter? He goes, it's a lot of guys you have to try to help. You can't get to all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he never called me. Okay. I can't imagine being Jeff Ross too, because there's a lot of guys that.
Yeah. And at some point, you're like, okay, I'm going to help my top 12 friends. Number 13 will be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And if you say, I'll help my top 20 friends, number 21 is going to say, what the fuck?
That's the good thing about travel is I can't help anybody.
Great.
Because it's
Then you don't
totally
have
a
to.
separate deal, and you travel the world, and it's like, you just fucking go.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Like, we just got our
Do you have
list.
days to walk around and stuff?
Yeah. All I do is walk around. Like, this job is literally stealing fucking money. I go up.
I'm thinking of going to Australia for almost like break-even money. Like almost break-even money,
When?
just so I can go to Australia for a few weeks.
February?
You want to go in February?
Do like a fucking theater? See if we can do like a date?
Maybe. Are you going there for the show?
Going for the show. I'm going to Australia and New Zealand. So
Maybe.
like fucking get your ticket. I'll already be down there. Let's try to fucking do a theater.
That's a good idea.
Like maybe get like one more guy. And I mean, I always get emails from everyone from Death Squad about Australia.
You know who? Yeah, they're big there.
And I mean, it's huge. So like, you know,
Dorfman got on the phone, I guess, recently to my agent, and he was like, "Can we please do a Kreischer, Diaz, Ari just tour, like 4 stops,
yeah,
and then they can go their separate ways for the weekend, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday."
let's do it. I do that in a heartbeat. I do this,
Be sort of fun, right?
especially
Rent a
because
car and just
right now
drive.
I'm like fucking in the middle of production, so it's like I have weird times off where aren't really conducive to a weekend.
Right.
So it's like perfect odd dates. Odd dates will be work perfect for me.
And the clubs don't mind because they're like, "We're doing nothing on a Tuesday," and
Let's do it. Let's do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Fuck it.
But he was saying like 2 hours away, do the Wednesday, then 2 hours away, do the Thursday.
Done.
So we just rent
I'm
a
in.
car and
Fly in somewhere,
Yeah.
rent a car, bam, bam, fly home.
back, yeah.
Fucking great. Sell merch, make a
Yeah.
dickload on merch, fucking get whatever the door is, split it, and fucking...
yeah, we can rent a minivan, so it's more
Okay,
comfortable.
I'm horrible at this, but can you be in charge of that?
Oh no! But what I will do is I will tell the guy who will take over for me.
Yes.
And he was like,
Please,
"Can you
yeah.
run with this before I get high and forget?"
Yeah, exactly. No, I will not do that. Let's do that, and let's try to do Australia.
Okay.
Because
In
I'm going to be
February?
down there. Yeah, I was just thinking that today.
It's my birthday. Maybe I'll have a giant birthday show. When are you going in February?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that. We're going.
Okay.
We're doing.
They're trying to get me December, but that's the middle of summer there. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Be beautiful.
And anyone listening, if you want to be on my new season of my show, we'll be casting in L.A.
What do they do? Just decide to go to a strange country with you?
I just go up to them and ask them if they want to go on vacation,
and then they get to go wherever you say?
wherever I say. And this season's gangster.
cool.
Prague, Paris, New Zealand, Puerto Rico, Australia.
That's good, but I just got disappointed because I thought when you said gangster, I thought you were going to be like Detroit.
No.
Mexico City.
No, and then we're going like some
Juarez.
places in L.A. We're going L.A., Seattle, Chicago, Miami. 13 places. I forget all the places. I probably shouldn't even say what they are, but it doesn't matter. If you want to be on it, we'll be casting. Casting is a weird word. If you see me on the street with a camera crew saying, do you want to go on vacation?
Say yes if you want to go on vacation.
Just get your shit in order so you can say yes and you can get on a plane that next day.
They do it right then? Like, see you tomorrow at 2?
Some were like,
that's cool.
Some were like, let's go. And they're like, great. And then some, like the bigger ones were like, like Australia will probably cast a little ways out. Because just to go, look, it's going to be a fucking 2-day flight there, a 2-day flight back. It's going to be more than just taking someone to South Beach.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know where we're casting, but I know we'll probably be casting out of LA for some of them.
Okay. Where do they go? TravelChannel.com?
No, I have no idea.
This is what I meant by the way of like feeling better. I did my first commercial.
Yeah.
And I've been really lucky with those. I don't know. I didn't train at it. I was good at it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But my first one, we got to go to Monument Valley in Utah and like where the Grand Canyon is and see all that stuff. And day one, I was just so excited to be there.
Yeah.
I'm just super excited. There'd be like, I remember there was like some box or something in the shot. Like, oh, we need that move. I was like, oh, I'll get it. And like, no, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's okay. It's just a box of check marks. Like, put it behind this tire. It's okay. It's okay. But by day like 4, I remember we got to our new location and we got out of the car and I had my bag next to me. I was like, this isn't going to get itself to my room. It was like,
I'm horrible about that.
right? So that's what I mean by feeling like in a different position.
Oh, I'm a horrible. First of all,
I don't like they even call me talent.
Yeah.
I don't even like the fact that they say that. It's like talent. Come on, we all have talents. What are you talking about?
I would argue that I'm so much fun to be around that whatever diva-ness I throw out, like,
is overwhelmed by their fun.
Is get overwhelmed by the fact that I'm fun to be around.
Yeah.
But I do not I remember. All of our crew right now works with DIY hosts also, and DIY hosts are do-it-yourself network.
Okay.
These guys have construction backgrounds, so when they are loading the van to end up in the night, they all help out, and it makes it so much easier. Yeah. I don't pick up gear. Because I started in sitcom. I remember trying to touch someone's camera, and they fucking flipped out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't touch anything.
Well, they definitely don't expect it of you at all.
Yeah, and so I went through with this crew. I went through like fucking 4 episodes before someone was like, hey man, if you grab one of these boxes, we can all start drinking earlier. And I'm
really?
Because I'm waiting for him. I'm standing there waiting.
Oh,
and then
you don't want to be told that though.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I go, but don't get used to this because this doesn't happen often. So I literally tell them that, and then I throw a fucking temper tantrum, like a joke temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Like if I do anything for them.
This box weighs 4 pounds.
But then I started realizing, okay, so I don't do anything. I don't lift gear. I don't fucking move shit.
Parents are the same, no matter time, no place. They don't understand that us kids are going to make some mistakes. So to you other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.
Whoa, interruption. Hey, as happens once in a long while on this show, somebody has said something that they just don't want in there. So I took it out. But while I took it out, why not mention some stuff about Bert Kreischer? Like he's going to be playing at the Hollywood Improv on September 15th. Also, he's going to be at the Columbus Funny Bone September 27th through the 30th. Also, he's going to be at the Louisville Improv October 4th through the 7th. And then the Virginia Beach Funny Bone October 11th through the 14th. And then the Chicago Improv October 18th through the 21st. And then October 25th through the 28th, he's at the Pittsburgh Improv. Man, he really gets in bed with those improvs, huh? Bert Kreischer. For details, go to bertbertbert.com. Also follow Bert on Twitter at Bert Kreischer. No, wait, twitter.com/Bert Kreischer. Bert is B-E-R-T. Kreischer is K-R-E-I-S-C-H-E-R. And don't forget, pick up Revenge for the Holocaust, my debut comedy CD. And when I say debut, it's only sort of that because it's like 5 years of good comedy in there. It's available on iTunes right now, and if you want, go to my website, arishafir.com, ARISHAFFIR. That's also where you can follow me on Twitter. And go get 3 free tracks while you're waiting for it to come out from my website. I'll email you 3 tracks. Also, it comes out September 25th, so don't forget that. And then let me give a full thing for my sponsors. Amazon.com. If you go to arithegreat.com or arishafir.com, same thing. And you click on the Amazon banner, that takes you to Amazon.com. And then they code it so that if they know that if you went through my website, then they give me credit for it. So no matter what you spend, it's cost the same amount, but they give me cash back. So if you spend $100, they give me like $5. If you spend $1,000, they give me like 50, and that gets sizable. So every little bit helps. So if you guys go there and shop through my website, it really helps support this podcast. So please do that. And if you want to go and sign up for a free 15-day free trial for Gamefly, gamefly.com/Ari, then they give me like $20. 15 or 20, something like that. So thank you. Now let's get back to the final 30 minutes or so of Bert Kreischer's podcast. Sorry about the interruption, but we had to take something out. It was a little, it was too douchey for Bert's taste, but we had to leave in. So who should we have play us back? The Damned.
And and so that's the way my deal works out. And so right now, Travel
I feel bad about that.
Travel Channel's like, do not share what your fucking deal is. Edit that out if you can. So anyway,
135.
Yeah, please just edit that out. Travel Channel's gonna be like, woo, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare over here. It's raining egos.
My ad guy for this podcast is always like, can you not tell people how much you make for each ad? And I'm like, why? Who cares? Let them know. I'm not trying to hide shit.
So then halfway through the season, like towards the end of the season, Stacy is my like executive producer, and she travels with us. She's like kind of like my best friend on the show. Not best friend, they're all my best friends, but I talk to her the most about secret shit. Yeah. And she was like, there are little things that you got to realize. What's that?
I feel like I met her, but maybe I just heard you talk about her before.
I've talked about her a lot.
Okay.
And she's like, there are little things that you need to be aware of that are visible. Like people realize.
These are key, by the way. I would love for someone to tell me stuff, but go ahead.
You realize that they wonder how much money you make. Mm-hmm. That they speculate double whatever you really make.
Yeah.
When they watch you not pick up a round of drinks and they all chip in, like sometimes people, their brains go, that's fucked up. He makes like 10 times what I make,
right?
And he's not carrying any. He's just fucking hanging out and literally standing in front of the camera going, eh. She's like, if you pick up a drink, it goes a long way. Like if you pick up a round of drinks, or if you buy everyone a round of drinks, or if you pick up a dinner, or if you...
I saw Ren Azizi do this, and then in La Jolla, buy pizza at the end of the night. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So then when I think about it, it's like in Dallas, I did it. Just like, let me buy pizza. It's $25 for a few pies.
Dude, it's $100 for me to, I don't take the crew out to the most expensive, like $100 to get to buy a round of drinks and a round of appetizers and go, guys, these are on me. And then everyone's like, fuck yeah.
Cooler with
and then, it's like, and then at the end of the season, I was like, I've been talking about this Fitbit.
Yeah.
I carry it in my pocket everywhere. It tells me.
Oh yeah,
steps.
How much you've gone? You're still on that thing?
Oh, I'm obsessed with it.
Have you lost any weight on it?
No, I'm around the same weight.
Okay.
But actually, I'm down from. I was about 245 when I started. I'm around 225.
That's considerable.
Now. So yeah, but it's also not drinking like a lunatic and diet. But I'm not. Anyway, yes, it is working. So I've been talking about it all the time, and I've been blaring it in front of everyone and showing everyone, and everyone's like been like. And at one point, someone was like, one of my friends on the show, like one of my camera guys, one of my friends was like, yeah, I want one of those so bad. And I was like, dude, you got to get one. And he was like, dude, I can't just drop $100 on a thing. I got fucking kids and a wife. I live in Denver. I'm a cameraman. And I was like, in my head, it was just irrational. Like, if I want one, I just go buy one.
But
I don't tell my wife I sold 4 extra shirts, and I go buy a fucking Fitbit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I talked to Stacey, and I go, I think I'm going to buy everyone on the crew Fitbits. She was like,
how big is the crew?
Fucking big.
30?
No. Half of that. Okay. About 15 people.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? It's not compared to the way they'll talk about the fact that I got everyone a fucking Fitbit. Like, it's a big deal. When you give that to someone who
quarterbacks do that for the offensive lines.
Yeah, when they want one and they can't afford it. Now, look, I can't afford just to drop $1,500, but if I say to my wife, it's a business expense, and it's goodwill, and it's good for the crew, and we've all kept up online with our Fitbits in between seasons.
Makes you tighter.
So then we're tight as shit.
Chemistry.
We come back.
The show works better.
Chemistry's better.
The show works better whenever
I go
gets
for
along.
$1,500. I'll do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. And that's probably relative to like what I make. That's a fair present.
This is what Dice told me about Mitzi when they owned the Vegas. They were at like the Tropicana or something. There was a comedy store there. And he goes, they didn't like her because she would never drop a few bucks at the tables. You're supposed to drop a few bucks at the tables. Win or
Really?
lose, you just sit there and play for 30 minutes.
That's a fucking
It's just
truth.
what you do.
You definitely it's the vibe of like just like, you know, and it's so funny. There was never any tension with me and my crew ever. I've never had any tension. But when I started picking up meals and I started picking up drinks, they were saying things like that they had like they would go out of the way to say thank you and like, man, we really appreciate.
It's a nicer work environment.
And you're like, wow. And it was no skin off my back.
And now your work environment is worth more.
Yeah.
If you tell me you have to work with some shitbag, and you're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Or if you tell me you get to work with somebody super cool, you're like, same job, same pay. I'll take the super cool guy.
Dude at DIY.
Everyone's cool. Yeah.
Josh Temple is the guy that I kind of like modeled it after because he was a guy who works on DIY. I can't imagine he's making a dickload of money, but he's a host and he's making good money. He's got tons of shows. He works all the time, but he buys everyone wrap gifts every time. And in my
gifts?
Wrap gifts. That's like when I bought everyone Fitbits.
Yeah.
Buys everyone a season wraps. Everyone gets a gift.
Oh,
and
the
I was like,
wrap up. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, man, that is a fucking like that is coming out of his pocket. I know what he buys these people, but man, no one has ever said a bad word about that guy.
Everybody loves him.
And I've wanted to hear bad words, and no one said a fuck. No one will let you.
It's amazing how a gift will go so far.
Yeah.
David
just a
Taylor said
little-
this about Mencia once.
Who?
David Taylor.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
a
know.
comedian. It's really funny. Great writer. But like, he was like, the funny thing is after that Mencia Rogan stuff happened, after that the whole blow up, he was like, if that guy had just put more comics on his TV show, everyone would be like, it's not the biggest deal.
You know what? Tom and I talked about this one time.
You just have to give people stuff, and they'll defend you forever.
Tom and I talked about this one time, and we were like, you know, whenever you'd feature for someone that was like of note, that was making a lot of money, that was like your, you know, whatever, like it would like you'd hear stories about like, you know, Rogan takes care of you guys, takes care of your flights, takes care of your hotel.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how I thought comedy was, except for Pauly.
no.
And then I realized, like, oh, you got to pay for your flight to go feature, and just take the feature money.
I've had to pay for flights for featuring my whole career. You're only making $700 on the road, and
You got to take money
you
out
got
of
to
that.
pay for that, and then sometimes you got to pay for a hotel.
No way. That was
Fuck.
always, I thought, part of the deal.
No, I mean it's not. I mean, there were times like, and I will say this: there were times that if you worked with someone, they'd may bonus you out like $300 or something, or like
If you just get paired up with somebody.
like Attell would take
Or if
care
he
of you.
asked you specifically to
Attell
come
would
with him.
drop you some cash, or he'd pay for all your meals and all your drinks.
Yeah.
Like I do that now. I don't let whoever features with me, I don't let them ever eat with me and pay for
At
it
all, because I'm better
like,
than them.
I go, no, yeah.
You shouldn't watch me eat.
But like I take them out. I let them eat. I ask them to eat with me every time because I like the company.
Yeah, sure.
And I always pay for it. I'll pay for any of their meals. If we go out drinking, I'll pay for their drinks. I'm not going to let them.
I told this to Rogan. I was like, the only way I can pay you back for all those meals when I was super poor is to pay for the door guys at the Comedy Store now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is to pay
Yeah.
for their meals.
You
once
just
in a
pay it
while.
forward. I mean, you know, like, you know, it's I can only say that, you know, Tom's the only person that I've ever known in this business long enough that I could share secrets with about like fucking shitting on people. But like, but man, it was like, you know, that little bit, like if you fucking, like I would love to get to the place where I could pick up someone's flight. I can't pick up my own flights.
Yeah.
Like, but I'd love to go to have a guy that I go, don't worry, I'll take your flights. Like I remember Tom calling me and going, working with you guys and being like, man, fucking Rogan
that's first time.
flew us first class to fucking Australia. And I'm like, what? And he's
Yeah.
like, I was like, that's fucking $20,000. I go, Tom, sit and coach, take the 18 grand.
No, we can't do it.
Yeah, I know,
I thought of it, man. I thought of it so many times.
He was like-
those UFC gigs.
Yeah.
Oh, it was one of the. I saw Rogan because I've been told like 4 times already by like
Yeah.
manager stuff. You know, your flight costs $25,000.
Yes.
They spent $25,000 for me to go make 1,000.
Yeah.
Doing 2 gigs.
It was like, I was like, fuck. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
obviously you want to trade it in, but like I can't. So let's just enjoy the shit out of it. Tom told me because I took it the next time. He was like, "Do yourself a favor. First of all, put on the pajamas they give you.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
act like you're better than that. And second, get the 8-course taster menu on the way back.
that's a fucking treat. Chelsea Handler flies everyone she works with in a private jet.
Wow.
Daniel Tosh has not only flown everyone,
He pays
but
real well, too.
He pays you like an Chelsea Graham pays everyone $5,000 and flies you in a
Chelsea
private jet.
Graham, that's a great
Chelsea
name.
Handler or whatever.
Chelsea Graham, I
but
like that.
It's like you hear that and you go, fuck yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah, but you can't do it. But you're like, that's good on you.
Fuck yeah,
you know?
that is a good. You are in the right on that. That is the right thing to do. I'm like right now. I'm like look. I don't know what the price point is where you start deciding you do that.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. Like,
well, Rogan told me about First Class, and he goes because he started paying for himself when he wasn't doing the UFC gigs.
Yeah.
Just it's on him. It comes out of his end.
Yeah.
To fly first class instead of coach, and he goes when it became more fun for me to fly first than it was to have the extra money, then I flew first.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Like I'll get a Sam Adams because I could afford the difference between that and a Budweiser. But when it
Yes.
when it was too much of a difference, I'm like, I can't get the good beer.
It's so funny, man. It's that little shit. I would love to get to a place where you could do that and pay it forward.
Yeah.
Like just take a guy and go like I'll tell you this. I'll say this distinctly. This is one of the most meaningful things that ever happened in my career, and it was about Jay Moore. We did a fucking Super Bowl show.
Yeah.
And
Oh, really?
Leanne was pregnant, and he pulled me
Nice,
aside.
dude.
He pulled me aside after the week and gave me $2,000, and he was like in cash. And
Wow.
He was like, "This is for you. This is for Leanne. This is for the baby." Like, and it was like the fucking. I'll never forget that moment.
Changed your life at that point, right?
$2,000. Do you know what you feel like when you walk through the door with $2,000 that in essence, I guess you earned, or technically you got you earned, and your wife's like, I expected 700 because that was pretty much the deal with Jay. Is you know he'd maybe bonus you a little bit extra, but never like $2 fucking grand. He gave me $2,000, and I remember fucking feeling like fucking like a gangster. And I wish, and it's not expected. I worked with Louis C.K. It's not his job to fucking tip me out. He just got put with me. What the fuck? Like,
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's not like David Tell would take
The
care of
put with
people,
you
but
is
that's a
different
tell.
thing. If they ask you to come,
If they ask you to come,
but you would just get paired up with David Tell and he would still take care of you?
David Tell would fucking pay for everything. You never paid for a fucking thing. He'd take you out drinking a couple nights.
Yeah.
David Tell was a fucking
Bobby was always really good at that too.
Bobby Lee.
Yeah, when he was on Matt TV and we were all making $9,000 a year, he was like, "Want to go eat?" It's constantly want to go eat.
Yeah. That's the way, Ralphie's like that. Ralphie's big on
that.
is a fucking
Ralphie showed me a nugget once. It was when I just started smoking weed.
Yeah.
Consistently. I smoked it here or there. And he showed me this like big nug, like the size like this. Like I don't know what this is, like a silver dollar. Or big,
Yeah.
like all the way around. It was that big. And he like outside the Improv and he handed it to me. He's like, "Look at this." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." I'm like, "Yeah, it smells good, I guess." I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. And I gave it back to him. He goes, No, that's for you, man. I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I got so much."
He
Yeah, that guy goes out of his way.
He
real
sent
hard.
Leanne a fucking gift basket of lotions
Yeah.
and for the girls and Leanne, and they fucking use it all the time and they love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Ralphie's really nice.
He's just fucking.
There's some Steve Simone told me once, and I really like it, and I can't always do it, but I like it. Because here's the deal. As you get bigger, you lose track of what it was like to be poor.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And you kind of feel like you earn it.
Yeah.
Like, this is my money. I fucking got
Yeah,
here.
it's mine.
Yeah.
I fucking put 19 years in, whatever
Yeah.
it was, at nothing. So now I get to have fun for myself. But there was this guy in Toronto, separate story, who was interviewing me, some comic, for whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
And then his friend with all the camera equipment kept, like, he was late. And I was like, "Where's this guy?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then I waited another 20 minutes. And then I was supposed to go meet another comic for lunch. I was like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Do you know where he is? He goes, "He's parking." And then it hit me. And I was like, "Oh, are you out of minutes? Do you want to use my phone?" He goes, Yeah, that'd be great. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
Totally."
Yeah.
But how long has it been since you had to worry about minutes? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's tough to remember those things. But I remember being in that moment going like, I can't call you. I can wait half an hour till 9 rolls around.
That's so funny.
And you forget it. And then you realize like, it's not even whatever I'm interpreting as like lack of professionalism on your part. You're just poor.
Do you know the only thing I can give comics like right now that is I think valuable is like when I go, like I've done it with two comics that are
What?
friends of mine. They're not friends of mine, but guys, they're friends of mine. But I worked with them, and they're younger, and I just pulled them aside and I go, "Look, this is how the road works. You need to be super respectful of everyone. Don't have an attitude about anything.
That is a very valuable
If
thing.
you ask them, if they ask you to pay for anything, pay for it. Just pay for it.
What do you mean? If the club asks you to pay for anything?
If the club, like,
Listen up. Any comics that listen to this.
John Huck was with me in Omaha, and I pulled him aside the first night. I go, "Let me explain how the road works." I go, "I don't know how many of these clubs you've done, but let me walk you through it." they're not going to be fucking dissecting your set. What they're watching is, are you a fucking nightmare? Are you fun to
How
be
much do you
around?
tip?
Yeah, do you tip? Does the wait staff like you? Do you cause a problem? Do you have a drinking problem? Do you smoke weed in the green room? Like, all these fucking things are basically, you just can't be a pain in the ass. And he
Right.
was like, really? I said, yeah, don't worry about your sets. Have fun on stage. Have good sets, but have fun on stage. And so the very
Ralphie
first
told me
night,
that once. He was like, "You smoking pot in the green room?" I was like, "Yeah, what do you mean it's pot?" He goes,
Yeah.
"You don't know these people yet."
yeah,
And I was
you
like,
do
"Oh."
not know these people.
And
you
that's
think,
a pot
yeah.
head. So I was like, okay, if you're giving me this advice, I should probably listen to you.
And so, like, don't smoke in the green room. Don't
smoke.
Like,
Yeah.
not like, you have to treat it like. And I go,
Like you're a house guest, a
and I
little
go,
bit.
and don't come in and blow these people off because you're from Hollywood. Like, these guys, I go, these guys know how to run their club better than you do. You may think that you know that's all this fucking guy does.
Yeah.
That's all he does is run this fucking club. Not other clubs, not the ones you were at before, just this club. So don't fucking and so Huck was like, yeah. So that night, I'm just paying attention. I'm just watching, and the girl charges Huck for a beer.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, I'm a comic. He goes, okay, and pays for it. And then I can see in his head, he's like, well, that's the last beer I'm getting
Drank
because
here,
I can't
yeah.
afford
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
drink here. And
then he went on stage.
And then, has a good set, comes off and comes back. And Colleen, the manager,
I like that girl. I met her once.
apologizes profusely. That they apologize. They give him his money back. And he looks like a fucking
Saint.
hero because all he did was just not give him attitude.
Right.
Gave them the money and said, all right, okay, I'm clearly not drinking here.
I'm
It's like the-
50-50 with whether I just take it or I go, oh, actually, I'm performing.
Yeah.
But I'm so afraid of them. Like, yeah, we charge performers. And I'm like, fuck, now I look like an asshole.
Yeah, now I look like an asshole. I just go,
I
oh,
look like
sure,
I thought I was
sure.
better than you.
Yeah.
But this is what Simone does. It was in Brea. We saw him do it. It's just some whatever. It was 2-show night. And he helped clear glasses in between shows.
Fucking, it's so
it
funny.
takes so little effort.
Amy Schumer helped them serve drinks in Portland. And that's all they fucking talked about, was that they were slammed.
Yeah,
Someone
they're
hadn't showed up
slammed.
for work, and she went behind the bar and started serving drinks.
Really?
Yeah. And they were like, she fucking clearly attended bar before, and she knew what she was doing. And it's like those stories where you're like, I want one of those stories. I want someone to be like, Bert, whatever.
This. Yeah.
Like, I want either those or I want the Todd Glass ones. Like, did you ever hear Todd Glass would have
Todd Glass, I'm sure, was just like, he was the most fun we've ever had.
he was the most fun person. Apparently,
He was so much fun in
he
Montreal.
he would tell people that when instead of giving them light, just to start vacuuming. And so they just come up and start vacuuming the front row
While he was on?
Yeah, and then he'd blow up. What the fuck is this? But he's fucking
He was doing this thing. I was on mushrooms in Montreal.
Yeah.
And the word got out, I guess. I was trying to wait till everyone was gone from the bar before going out there.
Yeah.
But then I didn't wait long enough. I was like, fuck, I just got to walk through it. And then all my trip people left, and I was just there kind of looking up. And Todd Glass comes up and goes, wouldn't it be funny if I was the guy who was like, hey, you're on mushrooms? How's it going? Mushrooms? And you couldn't even help but laugh. I was like, fuck, you're such a cut up.
Gary Goldman told me a story about getting high at Todd Glass's house.
Yeah.
And Todd Glass is like, I know my apartment kind of sucks. And Gary's like, no, it's not that bad. And the second they start feeling high, Todd looks at Gary and goes, but wouldn't it be great if it was an airplane? Let's just pretend we're in an airplane and talk about how great this fucking airplane is. And I was like, what a fucking genius. He's a great guy.
The amazing thing, too, is when you're on the road, if you do those little things, whatever it is.
Yeah.
To me, too, cleaning glasses, I try to, especially if I know, I went long and it's harder to turn the room over now.
I
Because
always
of me,
go long.
I will quickly,
I always go
help you a
fucking
little
long.
bit.
Yeah.
It ain't any work, and we'll get the second show started faster.
Yeah.
I learned that at the Ice House, where it's like the Ice House Annex we do every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
We're like, the faster we all do this, the faster we can get the show started. We're not going to be so late.
Yeah.
So it's just like, who cares? But Todd Glass, and I'll never forget this. It's the little things people do that they'll remember forever. I was in DC Improv. I called ahead for a guest spot. The manager double booked a guest spot. So
That's
John
very
X.
DC
He's
Improv.
a great guy, John X, but he was just like he was flighty about that shit. He was like, cool, and he wouldn't write it down. Same as me,
Yeah.
the same as I would be.
Yeah.
And so we were there. It was me and a one-armed guy waiting, and he got there first. This one-armed kid comic.
Interesting.
And they were like, I saw Red, who's back in India now, or Pakistan,
Yeah.
or whatever brown country he's from.
I have a fucking go. Keep going.
All right, get back to this Red story. But I saw him go over to Todd. I was like, hey, they accidentally double booked a guest spot. Would you mind if we have two? And I see him go, oh, come on, man. Because it's also probably like, if it's a guest spot, it's probably worse than the MC.
Yeah.
It's like, when are we going to delay even longer for somebody shitty? Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And I was sitting on the other side near the green room. He was by where they sell the CDs and stuff. And I was watching it. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm putting this guy in a weird position. And he's like, I don't know who. And then he looks and he sees me. And I met him maybe once in Hollywood, like a year before. And he goes, oh, no, I know that guy. That's fine. And I was like, I'll never forget it. And I'll always look out for that guy if I could ever help it. And those little things go so far for people.
I always give people guest sets. If people want to do a guest set, I just go, yeah, do a guest set. You know,
What are you going to say, no?
Yeah, and it's like I remember wanting to get on stage. I remember wanting to get on stage. I remember wanting to get on stage with when I was in Tampa at the fucking I forget the name of the goddamn Side Splitters. And I was a young comic, and I was in Tampa on vacation. I was like, I'm going to try to get some stage time.
Yeah.
That's the way my brain worked. And I was like, got to get on stage. Go to the club, and they're being cunts to me, and the guy at the bar is having a drink before his show. He's a headliner.
Yeah.
He's like, let him go up. And I was like, thanks. And he sits down, and he goes, what's your name? I said, Bert. And he goes, Jimmy Schubert. And I was like, fucking love Jimmy Schubert.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. Fucking 7 minutes. Let him do 7 minutes. I don't give a shit. And then I went up, tanked, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And Jimmy was like, who gives a fuck? It's a fucking weekend for him. You know? It's those fucking those are the little
Those are great. Yeah. How do you ever take criticism?
And
also, it would depend on who it's from.
Yeah, I'm really good.
If somebody brand new tells you, "Oh, I have this suggestion." My thought is always like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I can't take a direction in a joke very well because they're so personal to me.
Yeah.
That it's got to be me. It's got to be where I take it. Like even when people are like, you know, what you should do with that, and they could be totally right, but I need to find it my own way.
Yeah, it's also a certain way people say it that I naturally want to fight against it, and I think that's ego too. Like, you don't know, I'm the best at everything.
Yeah, I go. Like someone had this. Like a lot of times, it's younger comics giving you like a hackier.
Yeah, and you're like,
I don't. You're like, I wish I understand what you're doing. But that's not going to work.
Good. Yeah,
it doesn't work for me. I appreciate that, but it doesn't work for me. The other thing is like, I never know. Like Tosh gave me a great fucking joke one time, and he was like, you should use it if it really leads into your other joke 10 million times better. And I was like, great. And I tried it, and it murdered. And then I was like, "But it's not mine. I didn't write it. I didn't come up with that." And I understand that is how the business works. That people do write for other people. But for me, it's like unless I created it, it's not in my little Rolodex of jokes.
Right.
It's like a joke I just tell that I don't really have an emotional connection to, or whatever. It's like I didn't create it. I'm weird about that. I can only tell things that are.
I fight against advice unless you make it real clear to me. Rogan, the best advice, but the clearest once was he was like, I was saying something, and the character in my story was like, this girl said that she was not on the pill.
Yeah.
And I was saying it, I was muttering the word not.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not on the pill. And he goes, hey, people don't hear you say the word not.
Yeah.
So they're only hearing you say I'm on the pill.
Things like that.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then you accentuate the not, and you're like, oh, this works way better. Thank you.
My camera guys that I was shooting the documentary with pulled me aside, and they're like, listen, I would never do this. This is your art form, but we are in the crowd with the audience, and we see the way they respond to this joke. I think you should lose it.
Really?
And I was like, yeah, the joke was...
wow.
The joke was...
that's nice, though, if they're really saying it from a place of like, I'm just telling
like, you lose 80% of the audience.
And it's not just once. If they see it a couple times, then they're like, it wasn't just, you didn't just mumble it.
They're like, yeah, you're losing it. It was about... dating is such an archaic form of finding the right partner because a lot of the shit you do on a date you don't do when you're married.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to find out if you're right for someone, you guys should go to the ASPCA, adopt a dog, and take it out to the woods and kill it together. And then get rid of the body and then drive back into the city together. And if you guys can have a sensible conversation on the drive back into the city, then you're right for each other. I go, that's more like marriage. And they're like, the second you say adopt the dog, everyone gets happy. And then you go kill it, everyone's like, like no one laughs.
It's one of those things like losing past what you meant to.
Yeah, and I was like, they're like, I understand your joke, but you're taking it too far. Right. And people are like, man, I like dogs. I have a fucking dog. Why is he killing dogs? You know, like, and I was like, all right. So I just stopped telling it.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Owen Smith is the best at telling like
Who's Owen Smith?
Tall black guy. He was on
know.
Everybody Hates Chris for a while. You don't know anybody in L.A.
I don't know anyone. That's why I'm so glad this has been the fucking greatest fucking podcast I've ever done. I feel like we've covered every fucking subject. I don't know anybody. I don't know anyone in the alternative comedy. I don't know anyone at the store. I don't know.
I'll go with you to the alternative show one day if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's been too long since I've been there, and now I feel uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
When I go there, like I don't know these people.
I want to just start hanging out more, but my wife's like, I told her last night.
Why don't you come to the store? Watch us
To be dead honest with you,
Yeah.
it was one of those times where I was like, the guy who books it, the blonde-haired guy, Tommy,
don't worry about that guy.
called me and was like, Ahmed had called and said, Ahmed and Steve Byrne were like, you got to have Bert in the rotation.
Yeah.
He's a great comic. And you should call him. So I called Tommy to like say, you know,
Let me guess what happened. You were not treated with the respect that you
I was
should
treated
be.
like absolute dog shit, and
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I was fighting for respect on the phone, and I was out to dinner with my parents and my daughters and my wife, and I was in the fucking street talking to this guy,
God, he
and I
doesn't
was
know
like,
sometimes.
I was like, wow. I go, you know what, man? I think I'm gonna pass. And he was like, well, you need to do 2 minutes. You need to do 2 minutes in front of Mitzi, and I think I can maybe get you on an open mic, but you're gonna need to bring some people or whatever he was saying. And I was like, oh man. I go, I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't know who I am.
I go, I'm really past this. I go, I'm on television. I'm a national touring comic.
Yeah,
I
treats
do
everybody like
all the
open
clubs
micers.
in the country, and I'm not going to do 2 minutes. I don't do 2 minutes. I apologize. I go, this is the wrong thing. And he goes, no, who do you think you are? And I go, look, you know what, man? I think I'm going to pass. I don't want to work the store then.
Yeah.
I go, this is way too much of a hassle. And then he was like, I was like, look, I already do the original room whenever, like if someone's having a show and they need me on,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Like I was doing it with
The
Louis
main room.
Anderson for a while.
The
And I was
main
like,
room, the Louis Anderson show,
yeah, and
yeah.
I was like, I'm actually cool. I'm getting all the spots I need. I don't need to do the store. I go, I just wanted to hang out with friends. That's it. And then I showed up to the store one night and the antithesis of UCB. It was like, I walked up and I was like, I looked at the lineup and I was like, I know 7 people on the lineup. And I was like, maybe I was going to dinner with my buddy at the sushi restaurant next door.
Uh-huh.
I go, maybe my buddy's a disc jockey, and I go, or a radio guy. I go, maybe I'll bring him over. All these guys that come through his town to do sets in Tampa
Are there.
Yeah, I go, I'll just bring
that
him over
guy.
there,
I
and
think about
everyone will
that guy.
fucking cowhead. I go, I'll
Yeah.
just bring him in. Everyone will love to see him. Everyone will fucking treat him to drinks. Everyone will have a great time.
Yeah.
And I go, I just need to get past the hiccup of can me and my buddy come in when we're done dinner? And fucking nope. It's
What?
$15, $10, whatever the cover charge is. And I go, I'll pay the cover charge. And the guy goes, do you have a reservation? And I go, look, man, I'm a comic.
Is that Tommy?
I'm sure it is.
Was it the long-haired blonde?
Yeah,
hair guy?
I go, look, I'm a comic. I've actually done this room. I don't know you. And I went, okay. I obviously you don't know me, but that's fine that you don't know me. But I go, everyone on this list does. And I'm like, I understand that this is your world right now, but it's not mine. And I just wanted to talk to a human being.
Yeah.
It was like, that was what made the UCB so fucking beautiful last
Just
night. I
go
was
to
like,
the back.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
This is what they tell us. Like, a lot of people are going to want to get on stage. You should not let them. Only paid regulars get on stage here. So if you don't know somebody, I had Gabriel and Felipe come in once when I was working the booth. And like, can we go on? It was like a Sunday or Monday where it's just pop-in night. And like, can we go on? And I was like, no, it's only paid regulars. And like, we are paid regulars. And I had been working there for a year and I hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. And then Gabriel and Felipe crouched down next to their headshots on the wall. I was like, see, it's us.
Oh,
My
really?
headshots. And I was like, all right, you're next.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, it is weird because it is, it's like, I had it really bad at the Comedy Store in London. Never had it worse in my entire fucking life.
Really?
This is in my documentary.
No affiliation,
too.
by the way.
No affiliation. I go to the.
I'm so glad you picked your notes because I got one that's lodge free and I wanted to do it for like 30 minutes.
My manager at the time gets me a set. I have my film crew. We're going to go to a set in London because we're in London for the night. Let's do a set in London. We'll use it for the documentary. It'll be cool. It's a neat thing. So he clears it up the fucking grapevine. We go to the club that night, and I walk up and I go to the doorman. I go, "Hey, I have a set here," and he goes, "Don't know you, mate," or what? I'm doing a horrible accent. Don't let me get into a British accent.
Was that British?
I fucking hold on. not tonight, mate. Not tonight, mate. Black dude, actually. I'm doing even worse than now. But he was black. And he was like, not tonight, mate. And I go, no, I'm on the, he goes, don't know your name. Name's on the list. And I said, well, can I go and talk to someone? He goes, nope, gotta buy a ticket. And I went, my name's on the list. I've already talked to somebody. And my manager takes over. And he goes, so he walks us into the front to the box office. Hi, my name's Bert Kreischer. I'm doing a set here tonight. Nope, not on the list. I go, no, I am. Nope, not on the list. And I go, is there someone like above you? And then my manager's like, is Jason here or whatever? And they're like, nope, not here tonight. Didn't say anything about you guys. Don't know what you're talking about. And I go, look, clearly there's a hiccup, but I am on the list.
Like, what if I were telling the truth? How could I prove it to you?
Yeah. And so I go, and we go, who is above you? Who would be? And they're like, you can talk to Jeremy, but he's never going to heard of you. So then they grab Jeremy, and Jeremy comes into the office, never heard of you. And I'm like, okay. I go, look, I am, and I'm like, clearly you must get inundated with American comics, but I have 2 camera crews, my manager, we're giving the name of your boss. Like, we said we talked to him. Can you just, like, find out maybe? And he goes, oh, I don't know what I can do. I mean, I guess I can bring you back and see if, so we go back to the DJ booth, and my name's on the list of the DJ booth.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh, yeah, okay, mate, you'll be fine.
No,
5
sorry.
minutes. 5 minutes. No sorry, no nothing. Everyone's just like, fuck you. They say I can do 5 minutes, so I'm like, okay, great. So I go to the green room. Now my name's not on the list in the green room, so all the comics in the green room hate my guts. I don't know who these guys are, but they decide to give me the fucking top to bottom. This is how it works in London. You're not in the States anymore. And I'm like,
And you're like, there's no competition here.
and
I'm not
like,
competing with you
God,
guys.
I'm fucking just sitting there. And
Those
the
are
guy's
low
like,
level people. The people who do that are like the
Clearly.
door guys. That's
Yes.
that's what I used to be like when somebody else came in. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? It's like just some comic from Kansas City.
Yeah. And the guy's like, they're in the green room, and they're like, not same as in the States, mate. Not the same. Very different crowds. Listen, if you ever want to work this club, this is the A club in the United Kingdom. This is the A club. You pass this club, you'll work everywhere. Like trying to get in my head.
Yeah.
And they're like, you do your 5 minutes. You do your 5 minutes. When you see that light, you get off stage. You do not run the light in London. You do not run the light in London. Giving me, like, what are you going to go up? You're going to go up with that American shit? You're going to do? And I'm like, all right. Everyone's in my fucking head. I'm not going to deal with any of this. I go out on stage and literally, like, I'm fucking 26 again, starting, and I'm auditioning for ICM. I rip that room an asshole.
Just because they were shitting on you?
To the fucking point of no return. And the second the light comes on, I step off stage. I walk into the green room. The 4 comics that were all sitting there are literally standing with their mouth open. And the one guy up front, I go, hey, good room. And the guy goes, guess you've done this before. Literally. And I was like, yeah, I've done it a few times. And he goes, well, you should have told us, mate. We wouldn't have given you such a hard time. I was like, what am I going to come in and give my credits? You don't know what
Say,
fucking
I've
shows
done this
I'm on.
before?
Yeah, I've done this before. So I walk out, and then the fucking everyone, dude, oh, you need to see whatchamacallit. He needs to see you. You could work everywhere. And I'm like, and then my manager's like, was like, man, there's one guy I know, Brett Vincent, who's like fucking everything over there.
Yeah.
He
I wanna work
manages
London. I wanna work
Jeffries,
the UK and
Jim
stuff like
Jeffries,
that.
and like he's great. He's Andre Vincent's brother. Andre Vincent's like fucking the Patton Oswalt of England.
Yeah.
And Brett Vincent's like, man, we got to get you on a tour. And I was like, I've known Brett for a while. I was like, fucking, I'd do that in a heartbeat. But that ego shit where you're fucking sitting there and people are like working the door and they're talking down to you and making you feel like shit, and you're like, man, this isn't what I signed up for. I signed up to be like, I just wanted to have just want to do stand up. Like, it's so funny going to the Ice House. Like, I'm going to the Ice House after this.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I was there, I was like, I don't never worked the Ice House.
You don't know how it works. Or
Yeah, I don't know
anything.
how it works. And I got my sisters with me, and I'm like, I got to try to get them into the show. And Red Band's overwhelmed, and Joe's off to doing his thing. And I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, look, I just won't cause a fucking stink. I'll do what I tell people to do on the road.
Sit there.
Shut the fuck up. And so I do it. They get my sisters in. I go to the Ice House the last time, and they're like, fucking Bert. And you're like, oh, my God. Like, this is how it should feel.
Yeah,
But you got to earn it. You got to earn it,
in the
too.
annex when we started doing those
Yeah.
those Death Squad shows, and I brought you up, and as I was bringing you up, you could hear, like remember Moose Johnston for the Cowboys?
No.
Well, all the guys with an ooh sound in their
Yeah.
voice, everyone just starts yelling that when they get the ball
Yeah,
or anything.
yeah.
And they all start doing that with Machine.
Yeah.
And just all through the crowd, like every six
It's the
person started
fucking
doing it.
the
I was
last
like,
time I went up.
whoa.
The last time I went up we did the big room.
Yeah.
And I was fucking ripped.
Yeah.
And literally, Ari, I talked to the balcony.
Yeah.
In the big
balcony.
room? Exactly. Exactly. I was talking to a balcony that wasn't there. I was looking up and some kid goes, who the fuck are you talking to? And I was like, them. And he goes, this is one story. I was like, wait, there's not a balcony here? So
You're like, but I'm getting laughs from up there.
I walk on stage and literally the whole room is just a machine. And I was like, wow, like that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like it really is a different. We got to do a tour in Australia. I'm fucking in. Let's do a tour.
Australia, New Zealand, and back?
Yeah, let's do those 3 days, the 2 off day thing tour.
What's the 2 off day
Like
thing?
me, you, and Joey, fucking Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then go our separate ways for the weekend,
Let's do it.
and then come home.
Let's do it.
Hey, Justin, are you listening to this? Please set that up.
Yeah, Justin, please set that up.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right.
All right, I got to take a shower.
Okay. There was something else I wanted to tell you, but then I think I can't remember what it is, so it's fine. Yeah, right. Do you have any dates coming up to promote or anything?
When does this go on?
I'm saving up a few, probably like a month.
It goes on in a month from now?
Probably.
No.
You got nothing coming up like a month and a half
I won't
from now?
be working. I'll be maybe on tour with you.
Okay.
Hopefully that worked out.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we got something out of it. All right.
I'll be doing Trip Flip, so look for me shooting Trip Flip and try to get on.
And it's every Thursday night at 9.
Every Thursday night at 9, and I'll be.
Travel Channel.
If you see me with the film crew and I'm asking you to go on vacation,
What's your Twitter?
At Bert Kreischer, a BERT at BERTKREISCHER.
Okay. And you got a website and stuff?
Bert.
And your T-shirt is one of the sweetest shirts.
Fuck.
It goes so well. If you have a chance, look up the machine.
Your shirt is sweet, but my wife won't let me
Thanks.
wear it to pick up.
Because it's
Like I go pick up my daughter's. She's like, "There's a black
There's
chick,
a naked black chick. Yeah.
naked on top of his head, and he's got ecstasy in his mouth. What? You're not wearing that. You're not wearing that." And I go, "Babe, no one's gonna know what it is." She goes, "They know what tits are. They know what fucking tits are."
Yeah.
I'm glad we did this, man. We've
Yeah,
been
thanks.
fucking going back and forth forever.
I know.
Let's do another one soon.
Okay.
If I'm in town, I want to do it.
Okay.
I can do this all day long.
What?
Just fucking talk.
Oh yeah, we just this band cave is fucking sweet.
Yeah.
All right, well, sweet. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank
I
you,
appreciate
Ari.
it, and I'll tell you when it's on or whatever. Okay.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Boom time. That's the episode, everybody. How you like it? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the balls out of it. All right. Well, here's the situation. Parents, all right. I am done with this episode. I am going to tell you a couple announcements right now for your own listening pleasure, not for mine. I'm going to be at Joey Diaz's behest and at his request. I'm going to be uploading my Last Storyteller show for $1.99 download. Me, Steve Renazzisi from The League, Bert Kreischer from this podcast right now. Who else? I forget who else is on it. Neil Brennan, his stories were too much about people that are still around, so he's like, I can't let that stuff go out. And we had to take one of Renazzisi's out about some secret thing too. But the rest are all going up, available for download on iTunes at some point, probably in like a month. Because my first CD, Revenge for the Holocaust, is available September 25th. It is available for pre-order right now on iTunes, Ari Shaffir's first comedy album, Revenge for the Holocaust. I'm hoping it's available right now for pre-order. As of right now, when I'm recording this on Sunday in Cape Cod at fucking 2:45 p.m., where I'm at a wedding, it's not available yet. They said 2 days after they approved it, and they approved it on Friday. So hoping it's up right now, and definitely hoping by the time this goes out at midnight or 12:01 a.m. on Monday morning that it's available. But if it's not, it should be soon. Ari Shaffir's Revenge for the Holocaust, available for pre-order right now. And if you go to arishafir.com, if you happen to be there while you're clicking on my Amazon link to go through Amazon for your shopping, or to click on Gamefly so you can get me $15 or maybe $17 towards marijuana, you can also click and get a few free tracks emailed to you free of charge for the poor people and for the people who say, hey, I don't know, should I listen to his CD or not? And by all means, feel free to send that shit to other people. Let them know. They might enjoy this shit. I really think it's good, so if you like it, you're probably going to buy the whole album, but you'll definitely come see me. So that's it. That's the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much to Bert Kreischer. Please follow him on Twitter. Go to his website, bertbertbert.com. Twitter is at Bert Kreischer. And that's it, you guys. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you are cutting up some of these episodes into short, small little clips for the YouTube, I have not ignored those. I am cataloging them, and as soon as I'm back for a few days or I'm spending enough time in a hotel room with nothing to do, then I'll be putting those up on a YouTube page. Maybe I might make a second YouTube page for all these. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you have suggestions or if you have feedback or anything, please write to me. Contact at arithegreat.com. It goes through to my email address. I don't always respond because I don't want everyone having my email address, but I respond sometimes. And if not, I definitely read all of them. So please tell me what you have to say. If you like certain things, if you don't like certain things, if you have certain guests in mind, not yourself, because it's almost always you're not as interesting as you think you are. Neither any of us. But if you have other people in mind, especially if you have comics who have been through something specific. Like someone suggested getting, might have been me, I don't know, but someone suggested getting Kumail Nanjiani to talk about coming to America. And I asked him, and he's like, yeah, I'll totally be down for that. So that'll be coming at some point. If you guys know about certain comedians and they have some story, including New York comedians, because I am there once in a while, and I will be there for the New York Comedy Festival November 9th and 10th at the Stand. 2 stand-up shows, regular stand-up shows, and then during the day on Saturday at like 6 or 6:30, I'm doing a live Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. So everyone, please come out to that. I think it's like 100 seats. So they should be on sale now from my website. Most of my tickets, if not all of them, are available on my website if you just go to tour or on the right-hand side. Anyway, you guys are great. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next week, or possibly in the middle of the week, if I release a bonus episode of Kevin Shea. It's a long bonus episode, so it takes me a while to upload, so then I haven't done it yet because of that. Until then, hasta la vista. Peter Gabriel, play us the fuck out. And thank you very much for Bert Kreischer one more time. Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 76, Ego with Bert.